ends up being a good game, Arkansas would go on to win in the Swamp, which they've never done before in the history of their program. Here's a kid, highest rated, coming out of high school, even over Luke Cass. And like Luke, had a pretty instant impact once he got to campus. All time as a true freshman. Now it looks like he's going to be a starter on this upcoming team, which I know his coaches, like Darren Wilson, who we're going to hear from later on today, Marcus Woodson, who's kind of the passing game coordinator of this defense, and then also, of course, his defensive coordinator, Travis Williams, trying to see what expansion he can take. Not only expanding his game, but helping out some of the other young players, like Selman Bridges, who I believe was the highest rated player off this past recruiting class. You got some new faces in the defensive back room. We're going to talk about some of them and get into some other stuff here on a Bandwagon Tuesday.
Man, how you guys doing this morning?
Better than we were at a certain juncture of the afternoon yesterday. We got everything resolved.
Well, I don't want to dig into that. We had if you were listening yesterday afternoon, Ruskin and Zach was live from Topgolf, and for those familiar with studios and radio, we have a board or a console we call a broadcast console that runs everything. Big C's sitting right now at the console, running the ones and twos, as they used to say, turning the mics on. If that piece of equipment doesn't function, the whole show is kaput. And that's ours. Yesterday at the Springdale studio decided to go on strike for some reason, and it's the worst. Here's the thing: the experts came in, Ty, couldn't turn it back on, didn't mess up again.
Wow.
So now that's the worst. You got this noise in your car, and you take it to the mechanic, and you can't get the noise to happen again. Hey, I got this knock noise, and you take it to the mechanic, and it runs
It's not
perfect.
there.
Because you know what that means, right? It's going to happen again.
Yeah, it's going to happen at
It's going
some
to happen
point.
again. But you guys did a fantastic job of working through all that. It looked like a fun day at Topgolf. I was there, then had to immediately leave, so I didn't get to see your golf display. Did you put on a display at any point?
Zach outdrove me. I did not have a banner day.
I heard him bragging about hitting a 240-yard shot. What was this?
Yeah,
a 3-iron?
I don't think he
I
understands that is
that's not
not
good.
good.
That's not good.
In some cases, that's terrible for certain listeners of our radio program
Well,
that can drive the ball anywhere from 275 to 300 yards on a consistent basis.
It's a good 3-wood. So, anyway, so it looked like y'all were having a great time. Glad it all came back together. Hey, we're brought to you by APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group. Job openings yesterday. When the you know what hits the fan, sometimes you're thinking about job opening. I could have gotten you a job in the quarry or driving a cement truck or about anything seemed better at that moment yesterday. But seriously, if you're headed to the job you're not really wild about right now, or you're an over-the-road trucker and you're tired of constantly being on the road, APAC's got jobs right here that you can be home at night. If you've got experience in a quarry, you're a diesel mechanic, if you're an electrician, also a variety of positions with a variety of skills needed. Go to jobs.crh.com. That's jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola is an equal opportunity employer.
And DQ was back. Maybe the more important aspect of the show. And I know a lot of listeners like Tim in West Palm Beach was excited to, or Tim in Palm Beach, I should say, was excited to have her back as she got back from vacation. Broke her foot, apparently, which stinks.
Yeah, particularly on vacation when you've probably had a lot more plans of being in a boot or on crutches.
Apparently, it was due to a dance move that went awry. So hopefully she is okay. The depth of Ruskin and Zach has been tested this offseason. We'll see if Arkansas football has to deal with the same thing as they often do with less depth. Deron Wilson, who we got a chance to hear from yesterday, talked about a handful of players that we'll share with later on. Some of names you're familiar with, like I mentioned, Jalen Braxton, Jaheim Singletary back for another year, the former 5-star kid coming out of high school. Just had an okay season last year, he'd tell you, trying to get again adjusted to Arkansas system. He now has a full off season under his belt, unlike last season where he came in the summer. And there's a few other players that came in the spring that have more time to adjust. That was one of the things Coach Wilson pointed out, is a lot of their players in the defensive back room came in kind of later in the year in the summer. They didn't get a full, they didn't come in the winter or spring ball. It was post that. So they didn't necessarily get a full off season to adjust to what their assignments are. getting familiar with their teammates and various other things that college football players have to get accustomed to.
Well, and to me, it's just the distraction of college sports anymore, because there's about three more layers of things you're distracted by, worried about, negotiating over, administrating, coaching through, that have nothing to do with getting better on the field. And of course, I'm talking about NIL. And coaches are distracted raising the money, particularly the head coach now. Somebody within that organization that was worried about football is now worried about administrating that money, making sure it gets doled out properly on the right dates, and all the what few I's you've got to dot and T's you cross with NIL, apparently, because there seemingly are no rules, but what rules there are have to be followed. Then you got cultural issues that come up, and I think that was something you can't put your thumb on, and you can't point to a box score from last year, but I think anyone watching with one eye knows that there was something amiss. And Landon Jackson talked a little bit about that at SEC Media Days and some of the things they're purposefully doing in the offseason. So, yeah, I mean, I think when you look across the board at this team, and whether it's position groups that we're hearing from this week and last week, or, whether it's the head coach talking, there's a little bit different air around
program, and I think probably other ones too if we followed them, because they're trying to fix the mistakes everyone, even the Georges, had last year with dealing with some NIL stuff and things that distract and things you're just trying to improve the process of.
Good old culture, the buzzword that is maybe the most overused in the English language this time of year. Right? In the offseason.
I understand that, and that's easy to say, but I do think there's some cultural shifts within teams. You're becoming closer than ever before to a professional organization. I mean, we're watching players. We're talking about it getting paid. That is a cultural shift within the locker room. So yeah, I think there's growing pains with that we're seeing, and it manifested itself on the field last year to a 4-8 year. I'm not suggesting that the culture been right. They go 10-2. I don't think they were that talented of a team, but I think that. Do you think this team was better than 4-8? Their talent was better than 4-8 last year?
Yeah, I would probably say so.
So there's just issues, and I don't think Arkansas is alone. Hey, this is unique only to Arkansas. I'm just saying it's the challenge that we're focused on. 877-377-6963. Call or text us here this morning on the Morning Rush. We're glad you're watching or listening with us here as we get up and at 'em on a Tuesday morning. Speaking of Tuesdays, it's Taco Tuesday at Joe's Grill and Cantina. $1 crunchy beef or chicken tacos all day long, so that's good for lunch, afternoon snack, or dinner tonight. You can get those dollar tacos. Nacho average Wednesday tomorrow with all the nachos discounted. Throwback Thursdays, fajita Fridays, and then all the enchiladas you can eat with endless enchiladas on Saturdays. Joe's Grill and Cantina. They're on South 74th Street across from Harps in Fort Smith.
I have an interesting fitness story I want to talk about coming up. You'll either be on the bandwagon or off of it.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
We had two people over here cooking meth out in the back lawn behind the house.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is The Morning Rush.
Give me the Hogs, Chuck. Give me the Hogs.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive, and financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
This is a public service announcement for hard seltzer lovers. Neutral Vodka Seltzer has arrived. Made with simple ingredients like vodka, seltzer, and real juice. Neutral tastes good. Like real good. So good that you'll never want to drink another artificial tasting seltzer again. Neutral's light and refreshing taste will show you what a vodka seltzer can be. Try Neutral, the one with the umlaut. Copyright 2023 Neutral Distilled Spirit Specialty, Los Angeles, California. Enjoy responsibly.
Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nuys work to give all of their patients a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5501 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farm. Now offering same-day crowns. 226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Hi, this is Melissa with True Grit Running Company. Is someone special to you missing out on life because of foot pain? Let's face it, if your feet hurt, you don't want to go anywhere. Give the gift of freedom. Check out our store for all kinds of options to benefit your special someone. We have perfect gifts for those suffering from a variety of foot issues, such as plantar fasciitis, bunions, tendonitis, diabetes care, neuropathy, or just tired and achy feet. Visit us today at True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
When I go out to eat, I want something fresh. I don't want something that's been sitting in a freezer or processed. When I go to Lily Sandwich Shop, I am satisfied to the max. That's because Josefa makes everything fresh and uses that River Valley farm fresh produce during our long growing season. Stop by Lily Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District and become another satisfied customer. The sandwiches speak for themselves.
My name is Lily. My Baba makes the best sandwiches at Lily Sandwich Shop. Come by and see them at the Bakery District today.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything, service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I ain't rich, but I damn sure want to be.
What they for one Razorback? One. Healing under a lot of pressure.
The Gimme the Hogs Chuck podcast every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Brought to you by Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. You can listen to it at hitthatline.com or wherever you hear your favorite podcasts.
We're going to get a couple texts here this morning before I tell you about this fitness club that I think that you'll find interesting, crazy, wherever your mind
Revealing,
goes with
maybe?
it. Revealing maybe might be the better term to put it this morning.
All right, so we're going to get to that coming up. Hey, if you haven't downloaded the Bet Saracen app, plenty of time still to enjoy some parts of the Olympics, but also football season on the way. All the futures are there, over-unders on win totals for the year, so much stuff. And, you even got NFL preseason games. You could bet on the White Sox to lose again. Probably wouldn't get very good odds if you're betting them to lose. So if you haven't downloaded the Bet Saracen app, it's the #1 sports betting app in Arkansas. In fact, about 7 out of every $10 bet on mobile apps are through Bet Saracen. There's a reason for that. So if you haven't downloaded, go to the Apple App Store, the Google Play Store, go to betsaracen.com for more details.
All right, so a couple texts here real quick. Jordan in Greenwood was wondering about the big upcoming basketball matches that may have been put out. We still haven't got any update on the Kansas date, apparently at Bud Walton Arena, or the game against TCU in Dallas, or a possible actual game in Dallas, Texas, too.
Well, from the way Cal talked, I would say that TCU and Kansas are exhibition games, and whether it sounds like one will be in the Fort Worth area. I don't imagine TCU is going to play an exhibition at a neutral site, so I imagine that game would be in Fort Worth, right? Can't imagine they're going to play an exhibition away from home. I don't even know if that's legal. I don't know. I don't even know if you can legally do that.
Yeah, I don't know. When he says Dallas, a lot of people lump together Dallas and Fort Worth, like you're saying. So you're probably. I don't know I know Amon G. Carter's their football venue. Couldn't tell you what their basketball venue is, but yeah, you're probably right in that sense.
Well, I mean, we're all guessing. I don't know that I'm right or not because trying to read Cal's mind, but Kansas here in an exhibition game, I kind of hope they put that off here, maybe go to Kansas this year. And I'll tell you what, I think A, give Cal another year to get his feet under him, and B, maybe the rules and what you can do around an exhibition game. You're every school's in a fundraising mode right now, right? It's an arms race for NIL dollars. I've got to believe at some point these exhibition games, which are becoming more public and prominent in college basketball, could be utilized because they're not part of the season ticket package. Wouldn't surprise me at all to see them vote or make a rule where you could have 3 of these instead of 2, or expand it so that, these could be extra tickets sold, extra money raised somehow to fund everything that's going on with college athletics. And if this works, guess what? We'll see it in other sports that matter, sports that you could sell a ticket to, football, maybe baseball. I think schools will be allowed to do it. If they can turn a buck, they're going to be allowed to do it, because with revenue sharing, forcing expense cuts, they're going to be looking for new revenue in any place they can get. And NIL's not going away, so money's got to come from somewhere.
Nope, I don't disagree with you
so
on that.
I wouldn't be surprised to see this, I don't call it a test tube with basketball, but a trial in what they're doing with exhibition games further itself into other sports.
Other text, as we were talking about culture and lack segment, JT in Hot Springs says culture is overused, but it is a real thing. So true. I think it's kind of diluted to a certain extent at this time in the offseason when people use it. But like you said, it is a truthful part.
Well, I mean, you back to the point I was making, when you start paying the athletes the way that the sport has went the last couple of years, dealing with that, it is a change of culture. There is a power shift within the sports. The players have never had more power over their situation and their futures than they do now. So, yeah, all that feeds into the culture that's going to surround your program. And hopefully, your foundation of hard work and doing the things that made you successful in the past, if you've had success, remain true. But anytime you've introduced these outside disruptions like they've had now, maybe disruption is not the right word, it's going to change the culture.
All right. It's an interesting time in the morning here on a Bandwagon Tuesday. I'd like to tell you about Explicit Fitness and the 5 a.m. Fit Club that they have started. Leon Martinez is the owner. Apparently, he lost 30 pounds using this method, where new trainers are a part of this. It starts this August the 19th, so in about 2 weeks. It's based out of Miami. You can follow them on social if you'd like to do so, but they have fitness models that I guess are nude, kind of like on a Peloton during workouts. $79 a month, $399 for a year, and $999 for 5 years. But it's the 5 a.m. Fit Club with new trainers from Explicit Fitness. I'm not making this up either. I
saw this last week.
This is a real thing.
And I don't know about...
Are you on the bandwagon?
Well, I might be on the bandwagon, but instead of losing 30 pounds, you might lose about 150 pounds. Because your wife may say, I'm out. I've lost about 140 pounds or whatever. That might, and a lot more than just that.
Or as Jackie likes to say in her ad, closer to 250 pounds in some people's cases. But yes,
I think that meant the other direction.
Yeah.
That aimed more at me or you.
Yeah. Again, 5 a.m. Fit Club from Explicit Fitness, nude trainers.
I'm sure
on
that
the monitor though.
I'm sure
not in person.
Yes, I'm sure
I'm
lot
sure
of
on that Peloton bike sitting naked could get a little rashy, a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, and maybe if you're in Miami, you can. There's the opportunity.
Well, they have a selection in Miami that would probably qualify for our standards
to do it in person. I've never been. Can I say
I'm not
this?
sure that'd be legal, but whatever.
That's
don't
what
let the law get in the way.
That's what I thought too, but I don't know. Can I just say for whatever reason, that is a bachelor trip destination, a place that a lot of women like to go. I've never wanted to really go to Miami at all. I'll go if I have to, but there are so many other
I was going to
cities.
send you for the basketball game. Never mind.
Well,
I'll scratch that thought. Big C, clear your calendar.
Let's
Never
not,
mind. No. I don't want you doing things you don't want to do.
Well,
Ruskin and Zach will send them down there. So
yeah, they'll be a fish out of water down there, literally and figuratively. But that's just never. There's so many other cities that in the United States that I would rather go to than there. But again, it's a huge. I'm just not a club person. I don't like clubs.
Well, there's other things to do in Miami.
But is there?
That's like saying if I go to, Chicago, I'm not a pizza person. Well, there's other things to eat.
Chicago. I would take. Excuse me. I've been in Chicago 3 times, and I'd go back to Chicago before I went to Miami.
Well, okay.
Night and day, to be honest.
Guess what? You get to do what you want to do. You get to have your own opinion. I've not been to Miami, so I don't have an opinion. But
I'm not on the Miami bandwagon.
All right, that's fine.
At all. But if I need
how many times have you been there?
0. But if I need to go for the Miami and Arkansas game for the ACC Challenge,
I don't want you doing anything that would make you uncomfortable.
It won't make me uncomfortable, but I'll fall on that sword if I need to.
Hey, coming up Thursday, I'm going to be in Branson. Come by and see us and say hello on Thursday morning. We're going to be at the Ballparks of America. They've got the Cal Ripken 12 and Babe Ruth 13 to 16-year-old World Series coming up. We'll be there from 6 to 9 to get you ready for the tournament, tell you what's going on. They're going to have a home run derby and a lot of fun things going on. We'll be at the Chicago Field at the Ballparks of America complex to tell you more about this event. And, of course, Ty and I will be talking some Hog football as well. It's the Morning Rush live from Branson at the Ballparks of America. Come by and see us on Thursday morning.
All right, we're going to shift gears. Coming up next segment, talk to Dan Murphy, who is an ESPN.com writer and has been covering the story alongside Pete Thamel on what's going on in Ann Arbor, Michigan. We'll ask him some other college football stuff as we continue on a Bandwagon Tuesday.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
I absolutely love your show. I can't listen to anything else on the drive to work in the morning other than the Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BUY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Hey, this is former Razorback Jalen Williams, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nuys work to give all of their patients a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5501 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farm. Now offering same-day crowns, 226-3500 for an appointment, or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here at Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. It's August, it's hot, and it's time to flip the lot. So we're giving you the best we got. Save up to $6,000 on red tag clearance prices on a fantastic selection of road-ready certified used cars with warranty. Plus up to $2,000 extra for your trade and no payments for 90 days. They've all got to go. Right down to the bare asphalt. Get a great deal on a great car now and help us flip the lot. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath.
Stop by the Golf Nut today and check out the full line of lab putters featuring Lie-Angle balanced technology. Lab putters were used by 14% of professionals in the 2024 Masters Tournament. All models of the new Scotty Cameron Phantom putters are in stock, including the longer 38-inch model. Come discover the biggest selection of name brand clubs, apparel, and accessories in the region. The Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue, your #1 golf shop for over 30 years.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, two-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
Call Randy Milam in Alma or Brandon Zimmerman in Bartley.
The best Tex-Mex and even better service is at Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith. Every Friday is Fajita Friday, featuring their charbroiled steak and chicken. It's tender, full of flavor, and comes with all the fixings. Saturdays are for endless enchiladas with Joe's homemade enchilada sauce and all the beef, chicken, or cheese enchiladas you can eat. Joe's Grill and Cantina. Great Tex-Mex, even better service. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Waiting on someone to bale your hay? Come in to Gray Brothers Equipment and let us show you how affordable owning your own Kubota hay equipment can be. Bale your hay when it's ready, not when it's burned up. With economical pricing at Gray Brothers at affordable interest rates from Kubota, this year is the year to bale your own hay. That's Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Poto, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon.
It's summer clearance sale time at Julco Outdoors. Save 25% off summer casual and fishing clothing by Ariat, Rig, Hook, Wrangler, and Under Armour. Old Town kayaks and canoes, marked to cost. Save hundreds of dollars on the Old Town while they last. Archers, get ready for early bow season. Don't miss the summer clearance sale at Julco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You're all alone at a party. You want to dance with somebody, but you ain't got a clue how to act.
Ricky, go ahead, man. You're on the morning rush.
I think Texas is Bush League all the time.
Now we're talking.
They're Bush League.
Franks pulls it back. Surveys. It's plenty of time. Now he unloads. Got a man. Come on. Arkansas first down. Arkansas touchdown. Covers 59 yards with a dance at the end.
Do you want to watch the Morning Rush, Halftime, Even, Ruskin, and Zach? Find our live video stream on Facebook, YouTube, X, Instagram, and Twitch. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio.
So we had quite an interesting topic last segment, and we might ask Dan about that. We'll have to wait and see his thoughts on the 5 a.m. club with the explicit fitness with new trainers. But we are going to definitely ask him about his recent story that he collaborated with Pete Thamel on, with what's going on in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Biggest college football story out right now. Sharon Moore and what's going to happen with him and the Wolverines program. Ask him some other college football stuff as well.
Hey, first let me tell you about the Inn at the Mill. If you're looking for a place to stay on football weekends or just a weekend getaway or a business trip to Northwest Arkansas, the Inn at the Mill is where we suggest, because it's, first of all, centrally located. No matter what you need to do in Benton or Washington County, you're going to be probably no more than 10 to 15 minutes away from it. at the Johnson exit. That's exit 69 off I-49. You're close to everything. The AMP, Crystal Bridges, campus at the U of A, great restaurants nearby. It's all right there. Big oversized rooms, great high-speed internet. Those oversized suites give you room to stretch out. If you're like me and you get the laptop out and the paperwork out, gives you room to do your work if you're there on business. So you're really going to like it. Plus a great breakfast to start the day as well. Call Jennifer. She'll get you all set up. No phone tree, no talking to a robot. They just take care of you in person at the Inn at the Mill. 479-443-1800. 443-1800 or go to inatthemill.com.
So before we interview now, I want him to be able to listen to this. We're going to play Jim Harbaugh's thoughts when asked about this yesterday and the current allegations in the NCAA investigation going on with his former program.
Never lie, never cheat, never steal. I was raised with that lesson. I have raised my family on that lesson. I have preached that lesson to the teams that I've coached. No one's perfect. If you stumble, you apologize, and you make it right. Today, I do not apologize. I did not participate, was not aware, nor complicit in those said allegations. So for me, back to work, attacking with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind.
Bull butter.
Dan, we'll start there as we welcome you into the program. Your thoughts on Coach Harbaugh's comments on what happened with this football program?
Hey, good morning, guys. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, I think there's a lot going on inside of a football program. Harbaugh and many of the other coaches, the NCAA hasn't said that they've found evidence that any of the coaches knew what Connor Stallions was up to. But what the NCAA says about Jim Harbaugh is that as the head coach of the program, he should have known. If you've got a guy who's a low-level staff member of your recruiting department who all of a sudden has cracked all of the codes for a team's play-calling signals in the middle of a game, you should be asking questions about how he's doing that and exploring some of the red flags that pop up there. And so the NCAA, when they're going after Jim Harbaugh, they're saying that he was ignoring things that he should have been looking into if he wanted to maintain the integrity of his program. So they don't accuse him of being part of the scheme or masterminding it or anything like that, but they say basically because he benefited from this information in some way and didn't look into how Connor Stallions was going and getting it, he has violated some NCAA rules.
So Dan's got a story up online right now at ESPN.com. It's really good. I read it last night and earlier this morning again. Dan, what I think is pretty damning in this case is the 52 supposed texts that Coach Moore supposedly deleted off of his phone in communicating with Stallions. Is that the biggest piece in all this that stands out in this investigation?
I think that's the biggest new bit of information that we learned. This is we received the draft of a notice of allegations, so this might still change before they actually start to pursue punishments against Michigan here so shortly. But I think we've been waiting on this since late October when all this news broke and Michigan did fire or got Connor Stallions resigned, I guess technically. But yeah, I think the fact that there were 5 members who were coaches, 7 total people on the football staff who were accused of wrongdoing. 5 guys who were on that coaching staff last year were accused of wrongdoing. And really all of the penalties against them that the NCAA leveled were more about getting in the way of the investigation and the failure to cooperate and trying to throw up roadblocks as the NCAA was looking into exactly what happened here. And that's what we learned about Sharon Moore, who took over as the head coach at Michigan in January after Harbaugh left for the NFL, was that the day that all of this news started breaking last October that Connor Stallions had been buying tickets for other people to go record the sidelines of opponents and down the road, Sharon Moore deleted his full text message history between himself and Connor Stallions. It is worth pointing out that they later, through some type of forensic phone imaging, were able to recover those texts and look at all of them. And there was whatever they saw in those texts, they didn't find anything that was worth punishing Sharon Moore any further than having deleted those texts.
Should Michigan officials have vetted him further before hiring him or elevating him to head coach? Seems like now you've really backed yourself in a corner as administration on what you've done, and now you could be facing possible sanctions against your coach by the NCAA.
It's a good question. I think what Sharon Moore, he's accused of a level 2 violation. The NCAA has different tiers of its penalties. Level 1 is the most serious. Level 2 is in the middle, and there's level 3 as well, which is real ticky-tack kind of stuff. What Sharon Moore's facing potentially is pretty minor in the long run, and they were pretty happy with what he did. But last year, when Jim Harbaugh was suspended for similar reasons, late in the season, Sharon Moore stepped in as sort of their interim head coach and helped them along the way to a championship. So even if Michigan had known that there might be a level 2 violation in Sharon Moore's future, I'm pretty sure they'd still move forward with hiring him because they think he's going to be the guy to keep them on track after winning a championship last year.
Should all of these allegations and all of this evidence we're learning about be viewed differently than normally when we're talking about things with the NCAA and violations by schools? It doesn't directly affect the integrity of the contest, of the competition we're watching. It's recruiting based. It's in the past players being paid. Dan, this goes to the heart of the integrity of what we watch on the competitive field. Should this be dealt with more severely because it does violate the integrity of the game?
I mean, it's definitely different in the fact that then you're right that most of what we hear when people are getting in trouble from the NCAA, it's some type of recruiting violation. And in fact, in this set of allegations, there were several other recruiting violations and smaller things that other assistant coaches have been accused of doing over the past few years that they shouldn't have in terms of attracting players. But yeah, it's rare that we see somebody who gets punished, or at least is in the process of being punished right now by the NCAA for having done something on the field that impacts the game. And I think the thing that they have to weigh on that front is, okay, one, how much of an advantage did it provide to them? Because remember, they caught them in the middle of the season, and Michigan no longer had that advantage halfway through the season, and they still went on to win a national championship. So the question is, okay, how much does it really change the game? And two, that Harbaugh served a 3-game suspension at the end of last season. They have doled out a little. Michigan has received a little bit of a punishment so far. I think the question is, okay, how much more do we want to come over the top on that one? And I think there still will be more penalties. I don't think they're going to vacate any games that Michigan has won, but my guess is that they'll end up facing a pretty steep fine, which is probably the new method for the NCAA, trying to hit a school where it hurts in its wallet. And I'm guessing that's the direction this one's headed.
Well, if nothing else, I think we can directly tie the use of in-helmet communication now in college football directly to this. So if nothing else came of this, the fact that we've evolved where we're no longer using cutout cardboard signs of some Disney character and all these guys giving fake signs on the sidelines and holding up tarps so they can't see you from up above, all that goes away, and we evolve the sport as a result of this starting this year.
I think that's right. Yeah, I think that's something that coaches have been talking about for a while, but it's one of those things of like, well, we don't do it because this is the way we've always done it, where there's just been a lack of momentum to change that rule. And this was probably, even if other people will tell you they were already planning to do it anyway, I wouldn't buy that. I think this was probably the thing that tipped them in the direction and said, okay, let's just get this done and treat this. We've got plenty of money to put a microphone and a speaker inside somebody's helmet. Let's get this done and change this and update ourselves a little bit.
We're talking with Dan Murphy, ESPN.com writer here on the Morning Rush. Dan, I want to step outside the Michigan stuff and ask you about some college football. Coaches poll is out. Georgia 1, Ohio State 2, Oregon 3, Texas 4, Bama 5. There's plenty of other SEC teams involved. What stands out to you with the initial coaches poll that we got yesterday?
I think that top 5 makes sense to me. I think it's going to be there are a lot of heavy hitters at the top, and I think what stands out to me is how interesting this season is going to be, because we're going to have a lot of top 10, top 15 matchups because of the way the new Big Ten and the Big SEC are constructed with so much power, so many great teams being in those two conferences now, especially as the playoff expands. The thing that's going to be interesting is there used to be this sense that an early game between, Texas and Michigan, right, in week 2, I think this year, would have felt like the end of the world for the loser of that game. But I think now college football fans and everybody who loves college football is going to have to adjust a little bit to say, okay, a loss in September to a high-quality opponent, even 2 losses, 3 losses maybe, isn't the end of the world. You're going to have teams with 2 or 3 losses out of that Big Ten and SEC that are going to make the playoff. We got Ohio State versus Oregon halfway through the year, too. That's 2 top 5 teams. And losing one of those games now is not quite as dramatic of a result as it has been in the past.
Dan, on that note, how much do you think that minimizes the regular season? I think a part of college football for decades upon decades is how the importance of the regular season. In your opinion, how much does the expansion minimize that?
That was always the fear with expanding the playoff, right? And that in some ways, I'm interested to see how it washes out, right? Because there are some games where it will feel less important. Ohio State versus Oregon maybe won't have the same stakes as it would in a 4-team playoff or the BCS. However, now that you're getting 12 teams in November, you're going to have, instead of having 5 or 6 teams that are eligible fighting for that last spot in the football playoff somewhere in late November, there's usually like 2 or 3 teams battling it out, some questions about it. You're going to have like 16, 17, 18 teams that are all sort of vying and thinking maybe they have a shot to make it in the top 12. So in late November, you're going to have to be working the remote a lot more to follow all the different games that are relevant in terms of who's going to make the playoffs. So I think I'll be interested to see if that balances out or if it feels different, because there are going to be a lot more relevant games as well, even if some of the biggest juggernaut games don't feel quite as consequential as they used to.
Dan, before we let you go, Arcadia Bluffs was a golf course and a destination on our list in Michigan. I know you're up there. Have you been to Arcadia Bluffs? There's another golf area in Michigan that Tommy and myself should try and venture out to at some point during the golfing season.
Arcadia Bluffs is gorgeous. I am not a golfer, so I'm wherever I can get a few beers and 4 hours of free time. This might be an idea. Beautiful golf course, but everywhere up north in Michigan is the hidden gem. Don't tell so many people about it, but the Traverse City area in northern Michigan, right along Lake Michigan, is crystal clear blue waters and huge dunes and beautiful golf courses up there. Don't come up in any time before May or June, I think, or else you're likely to hit some snow. But once it gets nice up here, it's a gorgeous part of the country.
Heck yeah, man. Well, Dan, we appreciate not just the insight on Michigan, some thoughts on college football, but also a destination or two that Tommy and I can check out.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us this morning.
All right, thanks, fellas.
All right, thanks, Dan. Hey, if you want to spruce up your existing home or start from the ground up, either way, check with our friends at Farm Credit before you get started and find out the best financing options. They've been doing it for more than 100 years, helping families just like you. Farm Credit of Western Arkansas. Available online at any time. MyAgLender.com. That's MyAGLender.com. Or stop in and see them at any of their 25 locations and start making your dream home come true. That's Farm Credit of Western Arkansas, MyAGLender.com. I really got to believe in the end, Michigan's going, as he said, Sherrone Moore, secondary violations. Jim Harbaugh served a 3-game suspension. I don't think whether or not they actually gained much out of last year should even be considered in all of this. This goes to the heart of the integrity of the game. This is not a recruiting violation. This isn't paying a player. And I know you could say we're splitting hairs on that. Mm-hmm. We're talking about things you're cheating in the actual competition. And I think this should be dealt with far more severely. But then you also got to balance that out. Why punish kids that are in high school right now with bowl bans or sanctions that would come when they had nothing to do with that?
Yeah, it is.
So, I mean, that's the problem, is punishing the actual perpetrator. That's why I think show cause penalties are so important when you start when you're going to penalize the adults for not being leaders. That's how it should happen.
Just discuss show cause for a little bit. You're not allowed to coach in college for however many years.
Well, it's generally months, or it can be years at times. I mean, it's generally a year and a half, 18, Sometimes 18 months is kind of common when you see a lot of these show cause penalties. But basically, a school has to go get written permission from the NCAA to be able to hire you, because when you work in athletics, you've got to get clearance from the NCAA, and you got to pass certain tests often. So yeah, I think it's you limit the professional opportunities for the adults that violated the rules. I just don't think it's right to penalize the players, particularly the ones that were in high school when these violations occur, because the wheels of justice in the NCAA move. They creep. They don't move. They creep.
All right. Good stuff from Dan Murphy.
But Harbaugh's off to the NFL. What punishment other than watching his team from home did he really serve?
Yeah, that's where I was going to go on that. All right, that was good stuff from Dan Murphy. It will be in our Bud Light Morning Rush podcast. We might come back to some of his answers later on in the show or tomorrow. Again, good insight on that. And, Tommy, we got some I had Arcadia Bluffs on my golf list. I've got like 75 courses now, and Grand Traverse was on there as well, even prior to him.
75. What's at the top of your list? I'd love to know.
I just added them. There's no ranking. I should probably rank them on this list. Golf Club at Deer Chase, Missouri. It was the first one I saw. Do you
know anything about it, or you just thought it was a cool name?
No, the pictures and the Instagram. So they could be a really.
So you don't know anything about it.
It could be a really great video shot and nothing. All right, let's get into it.
Everything on the internet is real.
I know you got to be aware of that. It is that time of the morning here on a Tuesday. Little CJ's Trivia.
This is CJ's Trivia Tuesday, presented by CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers in Fayetteville and Russellville.
It's delicious.
There must be 50 customers out there. It's unbelievable.
When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best.
Per usual, got to call in 877-377-6963 if you want to have an opportunity to win a $25 CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers gift card. We mentioned the coaches poll. What is the highest ranking Arkansas has held during the Sam Pittman era? 877-377-6963.
In the coaches
highest
poll or AP
ranking,
poll? Any poll?
Any poll,
All right.
highest they've been.
I think I know the answer.
Okay. I know I got the game. If you want to mention the game, awesome that they were that ranking, and obviously mention the ranking. Again, 877-377-6963. Do you know the year at least?
Well, obviously it'd have been, what was that, 21 when they went to Tampa at the end of the year. So I believe that's right. I believe this is the number. Is this the number?
As you're showing it on the video live stream.
Well, that's going to be behind.
That is, yes, that is correct.
I think that's the number.
That is correct. And it did not go well in the outing that Arkansas had, but it at least went. Christian, who have we got on the line to answer this CJ's Trivia Tuesday question?
Eric in Lepanto.
Eric in Lepanto.
Going down south.
What is the answer to our CJ's Trivia Tuesday question? The highest ranking that Arkansas has held in the Sam Pittman era.
Number 8.
Number 8 is correct. Wow. Traveling to Athens, Georgia.
Yep.
2 undefeated teams.
Game day there.
College game day in
Ty
town.
Richardson there.
Ty Richardson in the house.
11 a.m. start.
11 a.m., 12.
Curb stomp.
Curb stomp, 37-0.
Wasn't there also a punt situation where the snap was bad early in the end zone?
It was just, and we were on that side of the end zone. So they placed in Georgia with between the hedges is a hostile environment, and Georgia's continued to get better under Smart. It's only grown. I will give that fan base credit because oftentimes Hunter Yurchek or members of the athletics department are telling our fan base to, hey, be there at 11 a.m. There was no one outside the stadium within 30 minutes. They were number 1. Arkansas was number 8. As you mentioned, College game day was in the house. It was a really cool setup. Just didn't go your way that day. And Kirby Smart, no pun intended, called off the dogs. It could have been a 60-something to nothing game. But he played conservative. There's still a great deal of respect between him and Coach Pittman. But yeah, 37-0.
Was it Greg or Craig? Who was our winner? We didn't talk to him long enough.
Eric in Lepanto.
Eric didn't get to talk long enough.
Eric in Lepanto. Eric, again, congratulations. We will send you that CJ's Butcher Boy
Eric still
Burger.
on the phone? No. All right, he's gone.
Where's
right.
you said South Lepanto? I'm having to look this up on Google. My
Well, you should know
Osceola.
Wasn't
yeah.
You said
Who? What? Hang on.
It was a Razorback.
Whoa. What Razorback? What well-known Razorback? You could even say famous. Was from Lepanto.
I got to be honest, Tommy. It's not South. It's
east. Is it
yeah,
east?
It's northeast.
Okay. Well, I thought it was south.
What famous Razor? Here's another addition to our CJ's trivia. What famous Razorback is from Lepanto?
Is it?
Can you give me a help on
What's
the?
his name? Madden? No.
Yeah, Rashad Madden. Kai Madden. Right? Is that who you're looking for?
Looking this up. I want to confirm my answer.
I think you're right, Christian. That's a good guess. I'm like 99% sure that's correct. I think it's Rashad Kai Madden.
That's not the answer I'm looking for.
Okay,
I don't
but he is from Lepanto.
Marcus Monk is the answer.
Yeah, because he went to what, EPC, right?
East Poinsett County.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's right. So
Marcus Monk's hometown is Lepanto.
Well, one of the I'm hoping we get Marcus
I was
on.
thinking of what's the you're the hot sauce guy. I was thinking down south at Panola. That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
Because it's right there on the border. Like if you're driving to the beach and you take 65 south of Pine Bluff, you run into their plant down there. But that's what I was thinking of.
You know what? I remember how hostile and volatile it got when Malik elected to move from Bentonville and not move from Bentonville, elect to go to Lexington. But I would be curious nowadays with Cal coming back as the head coach if everyone is still as angry about what it was, because I don't think that's the case anymore.
But Marcus Monk's the answer to the question because he was the only one of the two that was a Razorback. So.
Okay, that is that's a good
what
point.
Famous Razorback was from Lepanto.
Bunch of text.
Now, Malik was from Lepanto, but he moved to Bentonville to play all 3 years of his high school career.
Yep.
So
good.
You can debate where he's from. But
yep.
that's
Good
where he
guess.
grew up.
Really appreciate again Keith Wilson and his team at CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers in both Fayetteville and in Russellville, always sponsoring this awesome segment. And that was a good guess. And we said it was Eric, right? Big C.
Eric in Lepanto.
Eric in Lepanto. So we are statewide, baby. We don't have a radio out there, but we listen, hitthatline.com, all our YouTube stuff, all our live video as well. And I know Keith is on vacation, probably listening to us right now. So Keith, enjoy the rest of your vacation, man. And just because he's gone doesn't mean you can't go get a delicious burger, fries, and shake. Stop by either CJ's location for the best burger in Arkansas. CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best. Hour 2 is next.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Summertime in Arkansas means pond and creek fishing, and nothing catches bass and bluegill in a pond like a Rebel crickhopper. You can twitch it, pop it, walk it, and swim it. It's the ultralight fishing lure that looks and acts like a real grasshopper. The crickhopper works great in tandem with light spinning rods and reels with 4 or 6 pound fishing line. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. The Rebel crickhopper.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Work now, pay later with sizzling savings at WT Equipment. No money down, no interest, and no payments until 2025 on select New Holland equipment. Choose 0 for 60 or up to 10,000 cash back plus free net wrap on roll belt round balers. 0 for 72 or up to 10,000 cash back on mid-range tractors, or 0 for 72 plus an additional 2,000 cash back on a new compact. Work smarter with no money down, no interest, and no payments on your choice of the summer's hottest deals at WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
This is the Morning Rush.
Get up to $6,500 off on 2024 GMC Sierras or $4,000 off and as low as 1.9% financing for 36 months with approved credit at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 2024 GMC Sierra 1500 has a 5.3-liter V8 engine, so you can conquer the road with confidence. Up to $6,500 off or $4,000 in discounts and as low as 1.9% financing. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive into Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Braxton ripped it away and had it in his hands before the ball ever touched the ground.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to the Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
you're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man, you better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Good morning, gentlemen. Let me rephrase that. You got two gentlemen. You got one ain't earned it yet, has he?
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
And we welcome you into hour number 2 of the Morning Rush. You heard that Jalen Braxton highlight there. Big part of his freshman season. Had a chance to catch up with him, Coach Wilson, a couple other guys yesterday. We'll share their thoughts on the upcoming defensive back room. Arkansas actually had a pretty good pass defense last year. They were 35th in the top 35 in the country, even with some big-time games that they gave up, including the Auburn and Missouri game. But go watch what they did against Jalen Milroe, Jackson Dart, and some other guys last season. Pretty solid. Maybe year 2 will be even better. We'll have to wait and see. Got some new pieces, new faces like Danico Slaughter, guys that you're unfamiliar with that you're trying to familiarize with as we're 23 days out from this upcoming football season.
We'll talk some running backs in just a bit. We're going to rank the SEC running backs in our Pradco Pyramid of Power. That coming up in about 25 minutes or so here on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by the Fence Man. Sean and his crew are they're top shelf. Anything you need involving a fence, whether it's a wood privacy, vinyl, chain link, railing, you need maybe custom wrought iron installation. Maybe you're the person at your work or your compound, your complex, that's in charge of fencing and gates and controlled access. They can help you with all of that. Powered automatic gates. They do installations at government sites. And you know the kind of red tape and clearance and quality you have to do to meet all those standards. So we're talking about big boy fencing here. We're talking about a company that can do anything you need when it comes to securing your home or your business's property and perimeter. 782-3936 is their number. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man, he ain't afraid of no work.
I wish we could patch these guys both up together. I think we're gonna start with Brian and Ozark, and then we're gonna follow it up with Eddie. Brian, welcome into the Morning Rush, man.
Hey, what's going on?
Nothing much.
Hey, so I wanted to ask you a question about something that you said last week.
Yeah.
And, I just want to, where you're coming up with the information. But anyways, you made the comment that Arch Manning wasn't a very good quarterback, or wasn't he's basically living up to being a quarterback by his last name. I was wondering where you're coming up with that, and if you've even watched the kid at all.
I've watched the kid in practice. I've heard from Mike Farrell. I've talked to other people that I respect on the recruiting side of things, Brian. He had an entire offseason to prove me otherwise and others otherwise, but I think right now he's living off his last name. We haven't seen much of him at all. Quinn Ewers, based on his track record, is probably going to get injured at some point this season. That's just how it's gone for him since he got to college. So we'll see Arch, I think, this year, and we'll find out if he can hang in the SEC or not.
Brian, if his greatness was as elite as you project, why isn't he the starter?
Well, you got two of the best quarterback ratings between you.
I mean, you can't say that the greatest of all time is your backup. I'm not saying you say that, but
but why is he considered the number one backup in college right now? He's projected to be a top 10 draft pick in 2026.
Based on what?
That's ESPN. Any major sports writer has already said that.
Okay, but what are they basing that on?
Well, go back and look at the spring game.
Oh, a spring game. I'm sorry, a spring game. I'm sorry. Okay, thank you.
Well, yeah, look at Tyler Green. Woohoo, what's he done?
Taylor Green, by the way.
Who cares? I mean,
the conversation isn't about Taylor Green.
You just cited this.
Arch Manning,
and you didn't get his name right.
Quarterback in Arkansas. Arch Manning will light Arkansas up, and I hope they do, because that means Texas is beating Arkansas by 40 or 50 at half, and Arch Manning, sorry. I just wanted to ask where you came up with the information.
Well, I'm asking you the same question. So
I watched the Orange-White game.
So okay, Brian, just to be clear, your defense against my assertion to Arch Manning is a spring practice that is called a game. That is your defense to me thinking that Arch Manning is overrated and living off his uncle's and grandpa's last name. That is your defense, a spring game. I just want to make sure I'm clear on this.
Yeah.
Okay.
What else did you judge? What else? I mean,
that's the
point. He was the number one. He was the number one recruit in the whole out of the whole year.
And if you talk to recruiting analysts that follow this a lot closer than you and I do, a lot of them will say he's got those rankings because of his last name.
Okay. So the other part of that is Steve Sarkisian sure thinks a whole lot of him. And we can see what Steve Sarkisian has done with everybody. I mean, when you're loaded 4 deep at every position, you know, and you go from everybody likes to talk about how Arkansas beat Texas, 2 years ago. And I give them credit that they did beat them. They also beat them with a bunch of crap players that were left over from a crap coach like Charlie Strong and company. Those kids were all gone. And when you got 22 guys, possible 16 of them going to the NFL, dude.
So y'all have no problem walking in favor and win this game, right?
Yeah.
That's my thought. By the way, Brian,
you should win by 100.
Brian, I do have a friend. His name's Brad Kellner. He does sports radio for Texas Sports Unfiltered. I'd be happy to pass along his information because you can actually talk Texas with people that care about Texas on that program. Be happy to pass along that too, because no one really cares. If you want to wrinkle in an Arkansas thought, but I mean, no one. You said the same thing for 2 months.
You just want to stir the pot, don't you, Brian?
Absolutely, because I know Texas is going to.
You don't know anything. You don't know.
anything.
Brian, let me ask you something.
You don't know anything.
Brian, what is going to happen when you're in your mom's basement on November the 16th and Arkansas pulls off the upset with Arch Manning at quarterback? Not only will have your favorite team have lost, this quarterback, this prodigy that you keep talking about will have lost that game. And I wouldn't be surprised if he played in it because I've cited examples of Quinn Ewers getting injured. Are you going to melt down? Because Texas is favored in that game. We know that. Arkansas would have to pull an upset. I'm very aware of that. But you are awfully boisterous and braggadocious months out from this game where a lot can happen between now and then. Are you really that confident in your Longhorns several months out?
50%.
Okay.
150%.
Well, there's
no
2
doubt.
decades.
They waxed Arkansas.
There's 2 decades of precedent with that football program, and we appreciate your call that you guys have not gone over the hump. Not just the Arkansas hump, but literally since 2005, Texas has not won a national championship. And you could say, oh, they went to Alabama and won, or they played for it against Alabama. Both times, or the one time you went, you lost to an SEC school. We'll see how you compete in the SEC. And I'm high on Texas, but I'm not as high as I think you are when it comes to them just mopping the floor with a game that means more to Arkansas players, coaches, and fans. And I'm going to guess that Sark in Texas, regardless of what he said at SEC Media Days, is probably going to overlook that football game, even as late as it is in November.
I think Brian's just high. I don't know what he's high on, whether it's the Horns or the Hogs. I just think Brian is high at this point. Hey, football season's almost here. Download the Oaklawn Sports app in the Apple app or Google Play Store to get in on all the action. Futures, outright winners, spreads, totals, player props, Arkansas, Texas lines. They're all right there. Just create your account, make a deposit, and hey, if your first bet doesn't work out, Oaklawn gives you a free second chance bet up to $250. It's just that simple. Bet with the brand you trust anywhere in Arkansas. Bet with Oaklawn Sports.
Got our Car Pass Social Morning Rush Daily Question and Bruce Denton coming up next.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
Hey, this is former Razorback Jake Beckett, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the Morning Rush.
Touchdown, Arkansas!
Summer is here and adventure is calling. Visit Southern Tire Mart for a new set of Yokohama tires to get your vehicle ready for summer travels. Southern Tire Mart is your trusted partner for top quality tires, professional services, and competitive pricing. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let Southern Tire Mart ensure your vehicle is ready for the open road. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner. Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Let me grab my car keys and we'll roll.
We still going to that new bar downtown?
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun. Lexi, give me driving directions from home to downtown Bar District.
Autocorrect. Suggest Uber. Pick up, home. Drop off downtown Bar District.
No, I'm driving.
Suggest the Metro bus. Departing in 12 minutes.
Point taken, Lexi. We'll grab a ride.
If you drink, don't drive. Decide to ride. Brought to you in partnership by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber.
Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nuys work to give all of their patients a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5501 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farm. Now offering same-day crowns. 226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
This is Chuck Fawcett with Chuck Fawcett Realty. When I have an HVAC problem or a plumbing problem, I call 782-8940. That's 782-8940. Blaylock Heating and Air.
So to have a red truck rolling your way today, give us a call. That's Blaylock Heating and Air Conditioning for all of your heating, cooling, plumbing, and drain cleaning needs and great York Home products. It's just one number you need to know. That's 782-8940.
Summertime in Arkansas means pond and creek fishing, and nothing catches bass and bluegill in a pond like a Rebel Crick Hopper. You can twitch it, pop it, walk it, and swim it. It's the ultralight fishing lure that looks and acts like a real grasshopper. The Crick Hopper works great in tandem with light spinning rods and reels with 4 or 6 pound fishing line. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. The Rebel Crick Hopper.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. It's time for the Morning Rush Daily Question.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess.
I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
All right, time for our Cart Path Social Morning Rush Daily Question. Did you watch any Olympics? That's not the question, but did you watch the Olympics last night?
Not last night, no.
So watching in the Simone Biles, and it was the floor exercise, and they appealed to the judges, and the silver medal ends up going to, oh God, what about Criden's, or I believe her last name. But point is, an appeal to the judges after a penalty of .10, a tenth of a point, reversed the order for the bronze medal and gave the Americans one more medal. Then they pan and get the heartbreak of the gymnast that got knocked out of the bronze medal. What's the tough? It was a hard way to lose. You've trained for 4 years to get to this point, your whole life to get to the medal. Here is now the Morning Rush Daily Question based on this. what's the most gut-wrenching defeat you've ever had where something happened to you and you thought you had it secured and then it got ripped away? It could be you, or it could have been like an Arkansas loss, something like that. But when I say gut-wrenching defeat, gut-wrenching loss, because this was the drama of the Olympics last night. What comes to your mind? Because we've all had that moment.
That Auburn game where Bo Nix.
Yeah, that was the angriest.
That's a good
that
one.
was the angriest Tommy and I have ever been at each other doing a show. That next morning, that Monday, I drank 20 Bud Lights, and if I'm not kidding, drank 20 Bud Lights, and I was angry as it gets. That would be up there. You got to go on Florida. If we're talking Arkansas football, that's the one you have to side if you're a Razorback fan. 04 Florida would be up there too. I was talking to Matt about that last week. That would be close for me. There's plenty of occasions where I found myself in heartbreak, thinking I was maybe potentially with a young lady at a bar. That would be another one. There's plenty.
What happened in I'm thinking
plenty of
in one of your
examples
basketball games, one of your pickup games where someone has hit a half shot or a half court shot to beat you, or someone buried a three at the horn, or or on the golf course, hey, you've got someone 3 down with 4 to go and you end up losing. Those are
good examples.
Yes,
too.
all probably have happened to you, but
oh yeah.
I was playing somebody on NCAA. I know that's not really a big deal, but Taylor Green had a wide open touchdown and he tripped over his lineman, and I lost. Time ran out.
Ew.
Yeah, I mean, that was just one of those, I mean, my own lineman tripped me up. But
for me, here's what comes to mind. 06 LSU at War Memorial, Trendon Holiday.
Yeah, D-Mac takes it 80.
I mean, you have it. You think you've got that game in the bag. And you end up going to the championship game, but it really spoiled a lot of things. That's one game that comes to mind, and the next thing you know, he's gone to the house to take the win for LSU.
Yeah, Darren McFadden.
Can't even mention the
house call,
the foul ball, can we? That one's too easy.
That one's already been mentioned.
Yeah,
definitely. That's one. There's plenty of that. In terms of just everyday life, there's been instances when we've been up like 10 points on the basketball court, and then one of a former college player that plays pickup with us will just go nuclear, and we'll end up losing the game. So there's plenty of those instances. In terms of golf, I don't think there's, luckily in these matches that I played, or these bets that I played, I haven't like choked it away. I've actually got lucky in some cases and come back and won.
So Jordan Childs last night, she was the gym.
Okay.
Simone Biles had already secured second, and then Jordan appealed an out of bounds. Because in the floor exercise, I'm sure you're well versed, but let me go ahead and explain this for Big C. If you step out of bounds, it's a 1/10 of a point penalty. And they gave her a penalty, but the video showed her foot went over the line, but not on the line. So they appealed with the replay after the fact. They took the penalty off, which moved her from 5th to 3rd.
Okay.
So heartbreak for
a second.
Heartbreak for her initially, joy and jubilation, but immediate heartache for the gymnast from, I think it's not Argentina, but from Chile or somewhere that had thought they had a medal secured and then was bumped out. So we've all been there where we think, hey, this thing is ours. Our hand is on the trophy. John Vandeveld, Carnoustie, 20-something years ago. Those kind of moments. That's what makes sports and the agony of defeat, as Jim McKay once said. The thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. You saw it last night on display in the Olympics. So I just wondered, when I say agony of defeat, what comes to mind?
There's so many defeats I've suffered in my life. They just I lose track of them, so it's hard to narrow it down to just one.
Yep.
That is our Cart Pass.
That was fun watching that last night, and it worked out for the Americans to get the silver and the bronze.
Oh,
so
that's cool. It sounds like I should have been watching. That is our Cart Pass Social Morning Rush Daily Question. You can stop by and see Christian and Nate at the #1 destination for indoor golf in Northwest Arkansas. I've been told I'm supposed to give a shout out to Samuel Spencer, the son of Jim Bob Spencer over at Tyson. There's corporate events that happen. Tyson's been over there. United Bank's been there. 5 News has been there. Rose Law Firm has been there. So whether you're just going with the family group, whether you're going with friends,
or like the Morning Rush has been there.
Yeah, it sounded like Christian and Nate, we were talking about that. We need to get out there. There's plenty of things that you can do. You've got fantasy football drafts that you can schedule. Of course, you can play these different. Like they had Le French National. What's the golf course for the Olympics that Scheffler just won? Did I say it right?
I think you said it right.
Okay, so all these different majors and stuff, you can do that at CartPath Social. Check them out, cartpathsocial.com. All right, before we talk to Bruce, we're going to talk to Eddie in Clarksville. Eddie, what is your rebuttal to Mr. Brian and Ozark's thoughts on the Razorbacks and Longhorns games coming up in November?
I tell you what, Brian, not only do you got a big bow of Wolf-Pick City coming for you, you never know what happens in rivalry games. And I'm telling you this, Brian, this game, woo, get ready, baby. Strap it on, baby. Because when you come into Fayetteville, your quarterback is going to be, we're going to introduce you to a 6'7" phenom, Landon Jackson, and our defensive line. You're going to be eating turf all day, baby. I tell you like that, Brian. And we beat you before, we're going to beat you again. Oh, I'm getting ready, baby. But the reason I called in today, nobody's picking us to do much this year. Woo! But the game is not played. It's played on the field, not in the media. And I'm getting pumped. So I went to my breakup this morning, Tom Petty. Woo! The great song, Won't Back Down, baby. We're going to stand our ground. 2 impact this year, 1 on defense, Landon Jackson. And then last year, offensively, we were out of sync. You know what you do? You can change the spark plugs. What do spark plugs do? You bring in an athletic 6'7" quarterback that let the ball rip, and he's a perfect fit for Bobby Petrino's offense, which is in those close games this year. Taylor Green's my player of the year in the SEC. Haven't played it down yet, but woo! When we leave Stillwater, baby, the whistle is going to be blowing. You'll jump aboard, dear. Spread that on your pancake this morning.
Man, if Arkansas leaves Stillwater around 3:30 at a Boone Pickens Stadium with the win, I don't know how this fan base is going to contain themselves this upcoming season, considering that's going to be, as you said earlier this week or yesterday, probably a preseason top 10 team, probably the team that's going to be selected, if not already selected by the media for the Big 12 championship. Yeah. So that'd be awesome. And man, if Taylor Green's the SEC newcomer of the year, then you're going to have a decent football team.
Yeah.
All right, let's chat with Bruce Dan. Just had a fun chat with Eddie in Clarksville. Hopefully Bruce will give us the same vigor and intensity that
Bruce
Eddie.
Got any woos in him this morning? You got any Ric Flairs in you?
Woo!
That was good.
That's pretty good right there.
That was good, Bruce.
I tell you what, we're smart people. We need to figure out how to bottle that Eddie stuff and sell it to Walmart. We can make a lot of money. People feel good if they sprinkle that on something.
I'm telling you, Eddie's not decaf. I can tell you that for sure.
No, he's not.
He's not decaf. So
take that before you make your next sale, Ty.
I need it, man. Need the intensity, need the effort, and hopefully some of Eddie's
10-hour energy. He's not 5-hour energy. He's 10-hour energy.
Hopefully some of his stuff rubs off on me. Well, Bruce, we got another week closer to the college football season. Got some more accolades that were handed out to a few Arkansas players that we'll talk about later on. But for now, we're talking running backs here in our Pradco Pyramid of Power.
Who are the best running backs in the SEC? Let's find out.
Perhaps I could be of some assistance.
This is the Pradco Pyramid of Power.
By the way, Bruce is in Alabama right now. Bruce, if you want to bring back some Alabama white sauce, feel free to do that. Just you don't have to, but if you want to, you are absolutely more than welcome. We will accept it with open arms. Some of the best. It's got like a cinnamon in it. It's really good.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk running back.
Speaking of Alabama, this is a weird list because I don't have an Alabama running back in my Pradco Pyramid of Power. And how many years would you have to go back to not have Alabama prominent with the running backs? But transfers are a big theme throughout this. I'll start at the top, Bruce. Trevor Etienne, Georgia, came from Florida. I've got him at the top. Now, some questions surrounding him with that DUI a few weeks back. But as far as just on the field, I think Trevor is the number one running back.
You know, I had him number one, and I was going back and forth between him and Jarquez Hunter from Auburn. I just think Auburn is going to be so reliant on Hunter because they don't have a forward passing game. So I just kind of gave the edge to Hunter. He was second team All-SEC last year, but Etienne, I got him second. So,
All right.
I'm
I
right there with you.
Yeah, I got Jarquez Hunter number 2. He's had almost 2,200 yards in 3 seasons, and I think he'll probably eclipse, like you said, 1,000 this year. So we agree on 1 and 2. We just got them in reverse order. Who do you have at number 3? Is it a familiar name?
The familiar name, I know who you're talking about. I put Montrell Johnson at Florida, number 3. I'm probably number 4 on the familiar name.
All right, I got Rocket Sanders, South Carolina. We're talking about transfers. Coming off the injury last year at Arkansas, had 1,466 yards in 2022. I got Rocket at 3, and then I've got Montrell Johnson at Florida, who won't have Etienne with him in that backfield, has had 800 yards or more in the last 3 seasons at 4. So Etienne, Hunter, Sanders, and then Montrell Johnson from Florida is my number 4.
Yeah, I think we agree on the top 4. Just kind of flip flops. I mean, can Rocket regain that form from 2 years ago? Is his line going to be good enough? Is he going to have a quarterback take the pressure off of him? Just, I think it's a tougher situation going to South Carolina for him. I think it'll be hard to duplicate 1,000-yard season, but, we'll see.
All right, I'm going to go Big Orange here. Dylan Sampson, Tennessee. Not a lot of yards, but going to have a lot of carry opportunities in that backfield that won't have Wright or Small there. They had 230-plus carries a year ago. I got Dylan Sampson, number 5.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think he's going to get the lion's share of the carries. He's rushed for 1,001 yards, 13 TDs over the last 2 years. I could see that type of production just this year with him being the incumbent running back.
And I'm going to homer up. I got Quentin Jackson, number 6 on this list. 531 yards, 9 touchdowns, 78 carries in 22. Last year, 161 carries, nearly 800 yards, and 4 touchdowns was at Texas, then Utah, now the Razorbacks. I think he's going to be a big piece of Bobby Petrino's offense. I got Jaquindon Jackson at number 6 in the Pradco Pyramid of Power.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. Led the Utes in rushing touchdowns on the ground last year. Originally recruited at Texas as a quarterback. So at some point, I want to see that halfback option pass for a touchdown.
Now, isn't it weird? Neither one of us had an Alabama player, had an Auburn player. But
can you name? And I'm saying this is a guy that can't name an Alabama running back. I can name 10 in the last decade or so. But Bruce, can you even name an Alabama running back right now?
Well,
I can't.
Just because I did the research, I got Jam Miller. I like the name, but you got to think someone is going to be their leading rusher. Obviously, someone's probably going to be around 1,000 yards, but we just don't know who it is.
Yeah, Milroe may be that guy, but
it might be Milroe.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that stood out to me when doing the research and getting ready for this segment is Alabama's prowess in the running game. I mean, Saban's not a dumb guy. Maybe he knows more than we know. Or obviously, he knows more than we know. He knew the right exit strategy on this thing because that is something you would rarely see is Alabama not near in the top 2 or 3 of anyone's list the last 15 years.
No, I will say I toyed putting Ulysses Bentley in there because Quinshon Judkins has had such a great career running the ball at Ole Miss. They're going to run the ball well. Is it going to be Bentley or someone else? I think they will have a 1,000-yard rusher. It's just, is it going to be a transfer or Bentley?
Yeah, they got that LSU transfer, and they got 1 or 2 others, too. It seemed like they kind of divvied out the money that they may have paid with Quinshon Judkins as he ventured off to Ohio State and did that. So Ole Miss is going to have a prolific. They added that kid from Juice Wells from South Carolina. They brought back, I think it's Trey Harris. That offense is going to be absurd this next season, and that probably might be the most prolific offense in the SEC based on who they got coming back. Bruce.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, obviously Jackson Dart's coming back. They won 11 games last year, most ever at Ole Miss. So you got to think they're obviously one of the teams to beat.
Yeah, and I made a note here. Marcus Carroll and Nate Knoll from Missouri. I mean, I think Missouri's going to be a good team, and I think they're going to have a lot of yards. I don't know if they're actually going to be the best, but wouldn't surprise me to see those guys up near the top statistically when the season's over.
Yeah, I had Noel down in my top 10. You know, I think they caught lightning in the bottle last year. You know, I hope they don't duplicate it, but that's probably more hoping than reality.
Yeah. You said Bentley, right? For what about Logan Diggs too? That'd be another one.
Yeah, that's the one I was.
Okay, that's what you just said. I was
transfer. Yeah.
Then
yeah,
Moss or Daniels from A&M would be someone else you could throw in the mix. But I think we pretty well got it rounded out there. I think it's going to be an interesting year to see if anyone can emerge out of that group. And it would probably be ETN with Georgia's offensive line. That's why he's at the top of the list.
Well, you think about the first teamers from last year and the second teamers, Rocket and Quinshawn, both are in different destinations. One's now playing in the Big Ten, others playing out east for still an SEC school. And there's no running back in the Southeastern Conference that demands like an All-American accolade. And that's
rare.
Yeah.
You usually think of the best SEC tailback as being a Heisman front runner, first team All-American. That person is not on this list.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I heard Phil talking about the lack of quarterback battles in the SEC. Those jobs seem secure. I think this is all a byproduct of the transfer portal.
No question.
Hey, let me go where I can be the stud, and then coaches agree to not recruit or take someone else out of the portal in those spots, and it eliminates a lot of the battles. But man, is there anyone that's commanding or demanding an All-American tag at quarterback in the SEC? I mean, Carson Beck, is that an All-American quarterback?
I think Ewers will probably end up being one if he stays healthy.
But preseason, it's not a lock on any of these guys, and I think the same thing with the running backs. I think if you're going to look for preseason, hey, these are all Americans, you're probably going to look at both sides of the line and on the defensive side first. In this league, in this conference, I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I think the transfer portal has taken some of these camp battles just completely out of play. So, all right, that's our Pradco Pyramid of Power. Bruce, you've been watching much of the Olympic coverage. Has that drawn you in at all?
You know, I watched a little bit this weekend. Actually, when I was flying to Alabama yesterday, I watched some of the kayak cross events. I rocked that. There was 4 people. They dumped them in a river, and they were fighting to get to the end on an obstacle course. That was kind of cool because I kayak fish a lot, so never gone that fast, but that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I think the track and field, and obviously the 100 meters over the weekend has caught a lot of people's attention. So I just think I was watching some of the floor exercise last night. I think Simone Biles continues to be a great story. I thought it was interesting last night when she was talking with Mike Tirico. She didn't completely rule out another Olympic Games in 4 years in Los Angeles.
I mean, I don't know why she would. She's dominating. You know, she probably feels like she can come back and, you know, at least get on the medal stand. I would think so if I were her.
Yeah. So that was interesting. All right, you're in Alabama right now. We're going to get some cooler weather here in Arkansas towards the end of the week, but it's been awfully hot. What are you hearing from some of the professional anglers you talk to?
Well, what we like doing this time of year, fish a lot of standing timber, a lot of offshore brush piles. If you know where they are, if you've sunk brush in the spring, you can go out with a 10-inch young ribbon tail, a big worm with a Texas rig weight, and you can catch some really nice offshore fish this time of year. Or if you want to fish standing timber, you know, you can use a shaky head, like a War Eagle shaky head with a 6-inch thumping dinger, probably June bug in our area would be a good color. But fishing structure, wood, fish are relating to it. They're looking for shade. They're, you know, hiding where there's little bluegill and minnows around. And sometimes you can go out there on that deeper structure and catch some fish. I always like throwing topwater, boss pops, pop R's, first thing in the morning, get out there at 5:30 a.m. and, you know, usually by the time 9 o'clock hits, it's time to go eat breakfast. It gets so hot. But, you know, maybe we'll have a cooler weekend and stretch it out a few hours.
All right, you can find all of these things at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and your favorite tackle stores all over the place. Bruce, have a great week, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
All right, guys, I'm down here in Calera, Alabama. We call it the world's largest tackle box. It's a 500,000 square foot warehouse, and, man, we got pop-Rs and yum dingers everywhere.
There's some guys listening like to have about 10 free minutes in there.
Have a free shopping spree. Guys, grocery games.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Safe travels coming back.
All right, talk to y'all.
All right, Bruce Stanton, Pradco with us here every week. If you're going fishing, you got to take some of them Pradco lures along. So good stuff right there with Bruce Stanton.
All right, so we've got our Hog update coming up in just a bit, some awards. We just gave out our Pradco Pyramid of Power awards this morning when it comes to the running back position, and it's just kind of odd to see that there's not really anything in regards to what you're usually expecting with teams and SEC teams in particular. I do have as Bruce is in Alabama, I do have somewhat of an update on our Airbnb.
Oh yeah, you were scheduled for travel.
Yes,
this weekend.
was scheduled.
Going to happen.
It's not going to happen. Still in conversations with Airbnb about getting the refund. The host has pretty much told us that go shove it, and we're trying to wait on that. And then
what is their basis for? I mean, a hurricane, an act of God.
Well, it's a national emergency, and they said
right.
And
who was it you called yesterday? And they seemed like they were pretty cooperative.
The sail, my guy Brian over at Charleston Sailing Adventures, Cabin Ray, Harrison, Arkansas.
Yeah,
canceled, refunded, 2 seconds. Hey, yep, you couldn't predict this. Here's your money back. But now Airbnb, it's $5,700, and we still haven't seen a penny of it back yet. And American Airlines has told me to wait until this flight gets canceled on Thursday, and then I'll get my full money back. If I cancel it early, I get $99 less back for a flight credit.
But at least you're going to get a credit.
Yes, but
I mean that's usable.
Yes, correct. But I want the full amount. Airbnb was going to.
That's fine. I mean, but Airbnb is going to offer you what?
Was going to offer us $920 of the $5,700. So not
crazy.
Even.
That's
not
20%.
Not
less than 20%.
Less than 20%. So that's why we're holding out.
You know what that is? That's their fee.
I know. That's why we're still trying to work through this, and I'm just continues to call. We've been moved up. Listen to this. We've been moved up to the supervisor.
Oh, you've been escalated.
Escalated, as they like to say. So we'll see if this gets resolved. I just want my money back at this.
Sounds like they're just not good people, not treating you right.
You would think.
So they want to take your $5,700, which probably about $4,500 of that goes to the property owner, and you don't even show up.
This company,
because there's a hurricane that prevents you from getting there.
Won't let me get there. Yeah. And this company makes umpteen millions and millions of dollars every year.
Well, you won't get that lack of cooperation at all. In fact, you'll have superior cooperation when you call Gaston's White River Resort, 870-431-5202. And great, friendly people. Cheryl, Jacob, all the team at the reservation desk, they do such an awesome job. Then you get to deal with their friendly guides that understand the White River. That's what you should have done, is just booked a trip to Gaston's from the get-go, and you wouldn't be having all these travel problems you got right now, because the expert guides at Gaston's are going to put you right on the fish. You got the swimming pool and all the fun stuff there at Gaston's for the rest of the crew to enjoy as well, and a restaurant that overlooks the White River. 870-431-5202. Gaston's, a first-class time every time.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
Ty, fortunately, has saved the world and not yet procreated.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
It started as a dream, and here you are. It's moving day. But wait, isn't moving supposed to be stressful? Oh, that's right. You bought your home using Weichert Realtors. Your Weichert agent guided you from start to finish to help make sure we found you your perfect place. Dream, move, home, Weichert. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today and make your move. And look for our bright yellow signs. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. It's August, it's hot, and it's time to flip the lot. So we're giving you the best we got. Save up to $6,000 on red tag clearance prices on a fantastic selection of road-ready certified used cars with warranty. Plus up to $2,000 extra for your trade and no payments for 90 days. They've all got to go, right down to the bare asphalt. Get a great deal on a great car now and help us flip the lot. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath.
Have you tried the TGI Friday weekday deals? On Monday, they have 50-cent wings, traditional or boneless, 10-piece minimum. Tuesday, cheeseburgers and fries with a fountain drink for $10. On Wednesday, Cajun shrimp and chicken pasta for only $12. On Thursday, enjoy a half a rack of ribs for only $12. Stop by and check out the weekday deals at TGI Fridays, I-540 at Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. In here, it's always Friday.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey & Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey & Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit kevinhickeylaw.com or give them a call today, 479-434-2414. Hickey & Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird Real Estate Group has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at limbirdteam.com. LIMBIRD.
It's summer clearance sale time at Jelco Outdoors. Save 25% off summer casual and fishing clothing by Area, Rig, Hook, Wrangler, and Under Armour. Old Town kayaks and canoes, marked to cost. Save hundreds of dollars on the Old Town while they last. Archers, get ready for early bow season. Don't miss the summer clearance sale at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any 2 plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything, service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
All right, time for your Hog Update. We've talked about Coach Wilson, saying a few things about his group. Coach Wilson, of course, over the defensive backs. And here's what I might have switched. That might be the secondary. But here's what he had to say in regards to a few new players, including Danico Slaughter, who came over from Tennessee.
A guy that can play man coverage, a guy that has the ability to blitz, a guy that can drop in the flat, a guy, if you need him to, that can play in the post, a guy that could play curl flat, whatever it is. He's a guy that has the ability, corner ability, right, but also has the toughness as a nickel hog, right? And when you look at him, and I don't want to say when you say toughness, because if any position, if you're not tough, you can't play, right? If you can't tackle, you can't play in the secondary. You know what I mean? But he has the verbal confirmation, from a communication standpoint, he does a good job at it.
That's just a good name, Danico Slaughter. Again, coming over from Knoxville, Coach Wilson, secondary coach, has some high praise for him and some other guys. He looks like, Tommy, he might start at your hog position based on I don't know what you've seen at practice.
The nickel hog. Isn't that what he just called it? The nickel hog. So, yeah, I mean, and you know, from a secondary standpoint, you're probably going to be in a lot more nickel with your linebacker situation this year than you're going to be in any other, you know, scheme or with the exception of a goal line type situation or short yardage situation. So,
and just how
expect to see 5 of them out there a lot.
Expect
so playing time available.
College football has moved in the passing game. That's where a lot of people find themselves now. Now, earlier in the show, we played the clip from Jalen Braxton. He's the freshman last year. He's back for another season. A lot of times freshmen will just red shirts on the 4-game. Jalen did not because he made an impact. And now he's got a new kid that he gets to mentor, Selman Bridges, who's the second highest rated player in your past recruiting class that also plays defensive back. Here's what Jalen had to say about kind of taking him under his wing.
Yeah, Selman, he's been doing real good, like every day. Like in the spring, he was just getting his feet wet, and I used to always tell him just have some confidence. Like now you can tell he's on the field with way more confidence, and when you have that confidence, you're going to be able to play way better, and he's been playing real good. So I do think Selman will get on the field this year if he continues to do what he's doing.
I'm excited to see it this kid. It's always that like freshmen, the young freshmen, 1 or 2. Maybe there'll be a couple more of them that play. Maybe that says something about your depth, but this is a kid that you should be excited about his future as an Arkansas Razorback. Not just Bridges, but what could Jalen Braxton be as a player in year number 2?
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it all pans out and comes together, particularly in that secondary. So that's going to be great.
All right, that is your Hog Update this morning. It is brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Can someone tell me if John Gruden's been hired by the Kansas City Chiefs? I haven't seen any reports or anything
a red
about
tie
that.
on? Yeah.
He's out there in practice and stuff. Listen, there's plenty of John Gruden quotes over the years, but the best impression of John Gruden has to come from Frank Caliendo.
John Gruden, University of Dayton. I do this for free. You know why? Because I love football. Knock on wood if you're with me.
So that was the impression that Caliendo did while John Gruden was the head coach at the time of the Oakland Raiders. And I think actually Keon Atcher's in that video too, who was on either the practice squad or on the team at the time, which was kind of cool for an Arkansas connection. But yeah, I guess Gruden and Reed used to coach each other with Holmgren at the Packers. Again, I haven't seen a report or anything like that, but sounds like he's going to have some sort of, he's been draped in Chiefs gear, so I guess he's going to have some sort of role with him.
Remember when he did those, what was the show called where we had the quarterbacks that came to the shopping center?
Oh, is it Gruden's QB camp?
Yeah, something, but those were phenomenal. Tyler Wilson did one of those. I enjoyed watching those shows, but
Ryan Mallett did one of them.
I think, I don't know whether he's got a job with the Chiefs or not, but I think that ship has kind of sailed with him a little bit. I think I don't know if "jump the shark's" the right phrase, but I think people are over the Gruden experiment.
Oh, yeah.
I don't understand the love affair with every fan base with John Gruden.
Well, what happens is when a guy goes to TV, it's
he becomes the biggest expert out there.
Exactly.
And if he was really the biggest expert out there, he wouldn't be on TV, with the exception of Nick Saban.
Yeah, he'd be coaching. But in Gruden's case, he excelled on the television aspect, and people really enjoyed watching that QB camp, listening to him on Monday Night Football and various other things. I mean, I really like listening. I have no idea if he'd be a good head football coach in the NFL or college football in 2024, but I do love listening to him, and I do love hearing him talk about football.
He's a good communicator about the game.
Yes.
That's what the job of an analyst is how do I make this to where the audience can learn something and understand what's going on. He does a good job of that.
Yes.
And that's really what he should be doing.
Yes. All right, coming up in our Lindsay and Associates Pro Hog update, we're going to give you an update on the Chicago White Sox, who lost again last night. Of course, Andy Benintendi, who got a hit yesterday, a part of that organization, plus some other things that we will get to as well. Tommy, we're just talking about it. Now, is it Hurricane Debbie or Deborah? Or is it
Debbie?
Debbie.
And it's Debby.
D-E.
It's not even spelled like you would normally see Debbie spelled.
Okay. I was going to ask, I saw this video of a person who was outside of their house. A catfish had washed up on their driveway, I guess, from the hurricane aftermath. If you were that person, would you keep the catfish and try and get it back into the body of water that it was originally was, or would you cook it for dinner that night?
Depends on what body of water it came out of. So, if it was, I guess it probably wouldn't be off the ocean. It'd be some kind of intercoastal waterway or what. Yeah, Now, here's the question I've got for you. If this happened to you, Ty, fish was still alive, could you clean a fish?
No.
Could you fillet it out?
Nope.
Nope. All right.
I would get my...
Would you even know where to start?
I'd pick up the phone and call one of my much more country friends and ask them what to do and how to go about it. That's where I'd start.
Yeah.
The conclusion would probably not be pretty. Actually, you know what? I'll tell you what I'd do. I'd throw them in the air fryer because that would solve everything, right? You just toss him in there. You just have to bend him a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, he'd be wiggling and wobbling, but then
I
you
don't
turn
think
it.
you got an air fryer big enough for that.
Then you turn it on, and then he'd get fried, and
I don't think that's
he'd
the way
taste
you-
good. Get to make some cocktail sauce or tartar sauce, and be good to go.
Tartar sauce more with catfish,
You listen. When in doubt, toss it in the air fryer. If it can fit,
do that tonight. Go get you a fish and just
a live fish.
just
Go
put it in
catch
there.
a live fish with the Pradco lure, and then just throw it in the air fryer and see what happens.
I don't think that's. I don't even.
It kills all the germs and bugs and all that other stuff, right? The air fryer does because the heat.
Or you could just skin it and wash it and not have to worry about any of that stuff. Yeah.
That seems too complicated.
Yeah.
Seems
I
way
think
too
that
complicated.
tastes too good the way you're proposing it. Hey, speaking of fishing, want to be near somewhere where you can enjoy some great fishing? Do it in style with a new RV from Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Chris and Lee J do such a great job. Not only do they offer the lifetime warranty, but they've got a great parts and service department. So if there's ever a need, once you leave the lot at Wheels, they're always there for you. Wheels RV, home of the lifetime warranty, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
We'll also get a fall camp update with our friend Tom Murphy on the other side.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
It started as a dream, and here you are. It's moving day. But wait, isn't moving supposed to be stressful? Oh, that's right. You bought your home using Weichert Realtors. Your Weichert agent guided you from start to finish to help make sure we found you your perfect place. Dream, move, home, Weichert. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today and make your move. And look for our bright yellow signs. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Work now, pay later with sizzling savings at WT Equipment. No money down, no interest, and no payments until 2025 on select New Holland equipment. Choose 0 for 60 or up to 10,000 cash back plus free net wrap on roll belt round balers. 0 for 72 or up to 10,000 cash back on mid-range tractors, or 0 for 72 plus an additional 2,000 cash back on a new compact. Work smarter with no money down, no interest, and no payments on your choice of the summer's hottest deals at WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
This is the Morning Rush.
The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richards paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about. 1414 Fayetteville Road, the paint store, Van Buren.
Whether you are fishing a jetty on the Arkansas River or working around laydowns at Beaver, Washita, or Table Rock, the Heddon Super Spook Jr. is the topwater bait to call up summer bass. The Super Spook Jr. is a smaller version of the world's most famous topwater lure. The Spook is the original walk-the-dog lure and has been tricking big bass for almost 100 years. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere, the Heddon Super Spook Jr.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Light.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hot link, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their hand-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
Has your job been grinding your gears lately? Then let me tell you about Lavorne Lumber. They're looking to fill a regional over-the-road position. They use brand new equipment in your home every week. Don't think you're getting paid enough? That's not the case at Lavorne Lumber. They're highly competitive in that area. So if this sounds like a great next job opportunity for you, then stop by and see Pam and the Bills Monday through Friday from 9 to 4 at Lavorne Lumber. 515 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith and online at Lavorne, Lovvorn lumber.com.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high this afternoon on its way to the upper 90s. We stay clear tonight. Upper 60s north, mid 70s south. Wednesday, lots of sunshine. A high low 90s north, upper 90s south, and continuing to see sunshine on Thursday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Green Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936.
KERX Paris Fort Smith.
The Bud Light Countdown is on.
Arkansas football begins in 23 days.
And good yardage for Ricky Pearsall. Ball comes out. Razorbacks pick it up. They're going to run it into the end zone. If the play stands, it's a touchdown. Jalen Braxton, touchdown Arkansas. Jalen Braxton right in front of the Razorback bench. Picked up the loose ball. Arkansas jarred it out of the receiver's hands. Braxton ripped it away and had it in his hands before the ball ever touched the ground.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to the Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Good morning, gentlemen. Let me rephrase that. You got two gentlemen. Got one ain't earned it yet, has he?
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
It's
And we bring you back into hour number 3 of the Morning Rush, where we're set to talk some Pro Hogs with Tom Murphy and more of what Coach Wilson and some guys had to say yesterday, including Jalen Braxton, the highlight you just heard, one of the guys you're expecting a lot of in his sophomore season. I'm excited to see what role Jalen can expand his game to in 2024. We got a lot to discuss here in this hour. We'll come back to a few other things as well.
Brought to you by Arkansas Golf and Power Sports right here in Northwest Arkansas. If you're looking for a golf cart for your neighborhood or for your golf course or for the course you live nearby, they can fix you up at Arkansas Golf and Power Sports. They carry Easy Go, which is the brand I like it for a couple reasons. A, it's American made. B, the ride is so smooth. Their lithium batteries come with an 8-year warranty, and you can customize it to look any way you want. Color, wheels, tires, lighting, sound. Just your imagination is the only limit to what your golf cart could look like. Need 2 seats, 4 seats, 6 seats. They've got all of that for you. Gas or electric, they've got those as well. They service most makes and models, so if you've got one that needs some work done or you want to upgrade or update, they can help you with that. They got a full fab shop that can really put about anything you need together. So if you're looking for a golf cart that will get you around the neighborhood, to get you to the pool and all the things, or your buddies' houses in the neighborhood, or get you around the golf course, they've got a great variety of golf, work, and leisure vehicles. That's Arkansas Golf and Power Sports. North McConnell Avenue, just off the Garland exit in Fayetteville, or see them online at arpowersports.com.
Deck.
A fly ball to straightaway center. Tavares tracking it. Tavares at the wall. It's a gunner. Heston first one to dead center field. And it's a 2-hit, 3 RBI start to the night for Heston Kirsten. Welcome back to the big leagues, young man.
How long ago do you think that walk-off was for Benintendi, considering they've lost now 21 straight games?
A month or two, at least.
It's been at least a couple months, probably.
Least. All right, let's start there with Andrew Benintendi and the Chicago White Sox. Now, Andrew at least got a hit yesterday.
Here it is. It's delivered into center field. Andrew Vaughn is going to be waved in. He will score without a throw. And Benintendi with an RBI single ties this game at 1 apiece here in the 4th inning.
So it's 1-1 against the Oakland Athletics. The Chicago White Sox currently had 20 straight losses and then ended up losing the game. Christian, what else is going on here in our Pro Hog update this morning?
Well, you mentioned Benintendi being one of the bright spots for the White Sox. I think he's hitting around 200. 206 to matter of fact, so not tearing it up, but good to see him at least be one of their bright spots. And then you got Hagen Smith also looking to help them in the future. And then you got Heston Kjerstad, like you said, who has currently been moved down. I think a lot of that has to do with, the injury that he took, the pitch to the head, and that has affected his numbers quite a bit. And then another guy that doesn't get a lot of attention but was moved to another team, Jalen Beeks, is now a Pittsburgh Pirate who's kind of in the hunt for a playoff berth, so maybe they can use him some. And then Ryan Stanek, who we all know has been on the Astros for pretty much all of his career, is now a New York Met. So he might be able to help them some as well. But cool to see those guys get moved to new teams, kind of have a new start, I guess you could say, and maybe it might spark them in their career.
Beeks and Skeens, the premier duo in all of Major League Baseball. We know Paul Skeens is having just an unbelievable rookie season, and what he's been able to accomplish. The LSU Tiger, it'd be cool to see if him and Beeks started forming something in Pittsburgh. I know our own Phil Elson would love it. I think he's now counting down the days till Skeens ends up leaving. Anytime a former Razorback is on his favorite MLB team, he's got to be excited about that. I always look, Tommy, it's like, who's going to play for the Naturals? Who's going to play for the Travelers? As guys continue to move up their career, depending on where they land, that's always something I think our fans monitors. Hey, do I get a chance to maybe go watch these guys? Or even when they come to both Northwest Arkansas and North Little Rock, I should say.
Yeah, I was trying to find here some quick stats on Connor Nolan and how his last few starts have went up in Iowa, because obviously it's pretty exciting to watch his career. And we had him on the show a week or two ago, and just looking at it, looks like he's had a couple starts here so far, but I'm trying to get their stat sheet. It's not easy to read on the phone, but we talk about just pro Hogs. I mean, he's a pro Hog. He's getting paid to play baseball, but there's a guy I think this time next year we're going to be talking about in the regular rotation, possibly.
Yeah, I hope so. I had a chance to catch up with Connor a week or so ago. You can find that interview on hitthatline.com and our Hit That Line podcast network. He gave some great stuff, talked about some of his former teammates that are going to go through the same experiences that he did, as he is an Iowa Cub right now and hopefully soon a Chicago Cub, like you're saying.
All right, that's your Pro Hog update. It is brought to you by the Hickey and Hull Law Partners with 4 locations all around the state. Mena, they're in Central Arkansas, so if you're in the Little Rock area, Benton, Bryan, any of those places, they have an office there. Fort Smith and Northwest Arkansas, they specialize in family law, divorce, custody issues, but they have a deep bench of experience, if you will, over 7 decades of combined experience on their staff. So whether it's a criminal matter, civil matter, family law matter, there's an expert on their staff to guide you through the process and aggressively represent you from your corner. Call Kevin and Brad, 479-434-2414. Set up your first consultation with them in any of their 4 locations. That's 434-2414, or visit kevinhickeylaw.com.
Tom Murphy is brought to you by the Arkansas Beef Council. Beef, it's what's for dinner.
All right, Mr. Murphy, we'll start with the coaches poll that came out yesterday. Arkansas will have to face, at least preseason, 7 of the top 25 teams within that said coaches poll. When you saw it come out, when you put eyes on it for the first time, what stood out to you?
Good morning, guys. Always a pleasure. The preseason magazines, there was some similarity, and I think Arkansas faced 7 of the top 25 teams in several of the magazine polls we've seen come out. In truth, it's 7 of the top 20 in the coaches poll, because I think Tennessee or A&M is number 20. So, it's no different than most other years. I mean, Alabama's not on there, but Texas is. In fact, Texas is ranked 1 spot higher than Alabama. So the trade-off for Arkansas is you face a team that's just as highly regarded as Bama. The good thing for the Razorbacks, so many of these games are at home. They played so many tight games last year that if they can find a way and beat Tennessee at home early on, or win one of those games against Auburn on the road or A&M in Arlington, then you yourself could warrant attention by the voters in the various polls. So, it's just par for the course, right, for the SEC, and the Razorbacks are used to this kind of thing.
I wonder, when I saw A&M at number 20, as they've got a new coach in Mike Elko. I know that I think it's Wegman or Wyman, however you say his name. There's some excitement about what he could blossom into, but that seemed a little high to you, Tom?
Well, here's the thing. When you get past about, 10 or 12, and some of those teams in the top 15, they're not going to do it. I mean, they're going to struggle. It's just a fact. And then some teams ranked outside the top 15 could rocket up it. So the A&M has recruited very well. I mean, there's a bunch of 5-stars on that roster. And so if they put things together, sure, they could live up to 20. But I do think it's a little bit premature maybe to just say that, Mike Elko will succeed immediately. They got a great quarterback in Wegman and everything's going to fall into place because it has only once in the last several years, and that was in the COVID year of 2020 when they went 9-1 and came up 5th. So I don't know. It remains to be seen. Somebody's got to be there.
Tom Murphy with us, brought to you by the Arkansas Beef Council. Let's circle back to Arkansas. They're in camp. They'll be putting the pads on this week. Yesterday we heard from secondary coach Deron Wilson and some of his players. What were your takeaways here from, what is this now, day 4 of camp yesterday?
Yeah, I think 4 or 5. I can't remember what day that was. But, that they feel good about some of their depth and the fact that they have some veteran guys. They should be able to, their schemes should be, more multiple. They should be able to adjust on the fly a little bit better. They can go 4 deep, maybe even 5, depending on how fast Spellman Bridges can get into playing shape. But, the comparison is for Bridges, a long 6'4" kid. I did a Hog Future on him. Is Jalen Braxton. And, he's taller and longer than Jalen Braxton, but Braxton played a little bit early last year, and then by midseason he was rocking along pretty good. And as I delineated in my story, they improved 99 spots in pass yards allowed, from last in the country, 131, to number 32. And so that was just part and parcel of a much improved defensive effort that kind of got overlooked because Arkansas didn't have a great season.
Jaheim Singletary, Tom, is a guy that came in highly heralded, 5-star out of high school, comes over from Georgia. As he would probably even consider just an okay season for his standards, something that Coach Wilson mentioned several times yesterday. He's got a full offseason now under his belt. What are you expecting from him in year 2 in Fayetteville?
Well, I think the pressure's not on him as much as it was last year because I feel like he might have thought that they really needed him to be a dude. And he did start 3 of the first 4 games. But the play, the Brian Thomas catch against LSU, look, he's got fluid hips and he's fast and he's a 5-star. So all that should add up to he can be a player and he should be a player. But the LSU game, they just kind of exploited him. I think a touchdown in the first half, maybe a touchdown in the second, and he didn't play as much the rest of the year. Now he's more comfortable with his scheme. He should be able to turn and run and let his speed show up on the field more than it did last year. But for right now, Braxton and Keon Stewart are the ones, and so Singletary can come in and not show that there's a letdown and potentially make a bid for a starting job. And then, Marquise Robinson, who's been out a little bit, I think he's going to wind up playing. So that was my biggest takeaway was Darren Wilson and the players felt like there's a lot of interchangeable parts and more depth when you talk about corner and at nickelback.
Now Robinson, if I remember correctly, is the Florida. No, Mitchell's Mitchell's the Florida kid. Marquise is the South Alabama, as you mentioned. Maybe you could just kind of detail for our audience who's unfamiliar with some of the newer guys what they've added in the secondary, Tom.
Yeah, well, I mean, those 2 guys, and so Mitchell, I think he got a lot of work with the 2s in spring, but he's been more with the 3s. So I think there's been a message sent to Miguel Mitchell, and I don't know what it was in particular. We can ask Marcus Woodson about that because he's more of a safety, and I'm sure Darren Wilson could have answered it, but is it some kind of physicality thing? Is it some kind of off-the-field situation, like showing up late to a meeting? You never really know sometimes. But you think you could get some work out of Miguel Mitchell. And then, Robinson, he had a little bit of an injury in the spring, and now he's sidelined for a while here in camp. So he's got some kind of making up to do to get in the rotation at corner. And, there's some others. I think it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with Larry Worth, who the first couple of days it was a little rough at coverage and stuff. He's been a linebacker. They had him at nickel. But the last day or two, Worth has really showed up. His physicality, his coverage, he just got more natural looking in coverage stuff. And then a real question mark. Anthony Switzer is going to play, and it's just a matter of where. He had a great pass rush drill yesterday, getting by running backs and tight ends to the point, to the backfield. And then Jaquindon Jackson did hold him up once. But other than that, Switzer, they call him the Swiss Army knife, plays into his last name. I think he's going to be a quality addition for this defense.
Kind of like Coach Pittman talked last week about needing to be able to interchange guys and rotate guys on the offensive line. It looks to me, just looking over the depth chart coming out of spring, you're going to have to do the same thing in secondary. Guys that can play corner either side, guys that can flip-flop between corner and safety, and then you mentioned the utility position of nickel. With a lack of, I think, definite frontline first-team guys, you're going to have some guys, I think, with injuries along the way and other situations that you can move around.
That is absolutely the case. They've been through it the last couple of years, needing to move folks around. I mean, think about what Hudson Clark's been through. The hog position is going to be very interesting in the way they deploy that, because they can have heavier guys like Worth, they can have and Switzer, and they can have lighter guys like the Nico Slaughter, the Tennessee transfer, who I didn't mention a second ago, who's really running with the first team. So, they like their depth. I mean, there's not a ton of 5-stars in that. Jaheim Singletary is. Braxton a 4-star. But if you're playing together, if you know the scheme, you're playing fast, you can make up for maybe what is not 5-star talent with togetherness.
Well, if I've counted it right, not counting Larry Worth, who I guess you should throw in there from what you're saying, you got 13 guys between your two corner spots, your nickel and your safety spots. So Worth would make 14, and 14 guys to back up 5 starting spots if you count the nickel as a starter.
That's a lot, and they like the freshman Tevis Metcalf as a freshman nickel. So when you look at it on the whole, if these kids all pan out, there could be some depth to the secondary, and I do have to check myself every now and again to say, oh, wow, everything's looking rosy in camp. And then, and then you get into week 2 at Oklahoma State, and how does that look on the field? So,
well, let's get pads on and have a scrimmage or two, and then we'll formulate some opinion.
Absolutely right. But taken on the whole, if their O-line is improved, if the offensive schemes work better under Petrino than they did last year, if you stay on the field longer, if there's defensive depth and they're on the same page, who's not to say that Arkansas can win more of those close games and, be more of a factor, bounce back this year, basically.
Tom, one more question from me. I don't know if Tommy has anything else, but the White Sox, they lose their 21st consecutive game. Ties the AL record. They're trying to get to 23, it looks like. You're a guy that likes baseball and follows the MLB with being a Braves fan. What are your thoughts on them in disarray right now up in Chicago?
Yeah, I feel for them. You don't want to see a franchise go through that unless it's like the Phillies or Mets or something like that, or the Nationals, and then you're okay with it. But, they've got some Razorbacks on there. I know Fletcher's been hurt, and Benintendi's not having his greatest year, but I do feel for them. And hey, look, they have this going for them. They beat the Braves in a 2 of 3 game series, in which the third game was postponed for a couple of months, and they won it 1-0 against Chris Sale because we could not score.
Still got that, still harboring a little ill will, it sounds like, in that game. Yeah, that I forget about that. Fletcher was traded to them a while back, so that's we always talk about Andrew Benintendi, but that's a that's another guy we failed to mention. Tom, I said last thing for me. I got one more. The Michigan story. We got about a minute with you. We had another Murphy on with us, Dan Murphy earlier, who's wrote the story about Michigan and what's going on with their investigation. Maybe the treetop version of what you read. What do you think should happen with the Wolverines this year for years to come with that football program and what the NCAA has come up with their findings?
Well, I've read about it, but not in depth enough to tell you, well, this should be the penalty, because we've entered such a new realm. They've already paid a bit of a penalty, but here's the thing. It's the classic conundrum. Would you want your school to win a national championship and then be subjected to this kind of stuff? So many fan bases would say yes.
Yes.
And Michigan said yes last year, and they won it. And so whatever happens from here, they still won last year's national championship. And if it ever comes with an asterisk, well, it just does. They won it.
Part of it. And I think a lot of their fans, like you said, feel that way. Tom, we'll leave it there, man. We appreciate your stuff this morning, and we'll continue to get updates from you on fall camp on Thursday.
All right, sounds good. See y'all.
All right, Tom Murphy with us here Tuesdays and Thursdays on the Morning Rush, brought to you today by the Arkansas Beef Council. You know, on a cattle ranch, calves aren't only raised by their mothers. There's a whole team of people, a community of farmers, ranchers, veterinarians that are all committed to giving the healthiest, most comfortable life possible. Because for cattle farmers, ranchers, and the moms of those baby calves, animal welfare is the top priority. Together we bring more. Beef. It's What's for Dinner. It's funded by the Beef Farmers and Ranchers of Arkansas, and courtesy of Beef, it's What's for Dinner.
So we mentioned Coach Wilson talking about his players and some of the things he had to say. Tom kind of went into certain positions on what we might see from these players. We're going to hear more from Coach coming up. Again, the secondary coach of Arkansas, and what he had to say about his group. And some of the guys, again, we heard from Jalen Braxton, Keon Stewart, and Jaheim Singletary yesterday, and their thoughts on all coming back for another season here at Arkansas, all at year 2, which should help out that defense.
All right, another chance to qualify for the football trip of a lifetime. You'll be at Hardee's today from 11 to 1 at the Phoenix Avenue location.
Cannot wait. Had a bunch of people. I think we're up to 11 qualifiers now, if I remember that right. So we've got
running out of seats at the table.
That is right.
That's right. 11 qualifiers. Big C's got a lot. I've got a lot. So come on by. See us today from 11 to 1 at the Hardee's Avenue, Phoenix Avenue location in Fort Smith. See if you can eat a monster burger in 150 seconds or less.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
This is former coach Houston Nutt, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Robert.
And this is Elizabeth, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The only local, family, and alumni-owned Razorback store.
Yep, our names are on Senior Walk, and we understand what that charging Razorback means.
From new students to season ticket holders, we have everything you need.
From floor coverings, wall art, game room items, and other stuff to decorate your home or dorm room.
To things for your pet or all sorts of clothing, we have it all.
We feature brands like Champion, Cutter & Buck, Tommy Bahama, Columbia, and many, many others, all in the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
You know, your dad's side's starting to go viral.
Hey, what, is that a new thing? Can I get a pill or a shot for that?
Anyway, you can call us at 479-STADIUM or 479-782-3486.
Or drop by the store at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baumwalker Stadium in Fayetteville. Or if you need to, you can shop us online at them gram things.
Dad, let me do this. What he means is our website, which is shoponrazorback.com.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
This is the Morning Rush.
The best things in life never change. They just get better.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Conneray Drive into Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and
Where on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line Now.
So there's been some changes within the Arkansas secondary. You got some guys, some new pieces. Tom talked about a few of them earlier. We're going to hear from Coach Wilson, secondary coach, in a little bit. Also, some players on this roster as well. It's just kind of the ever-changing world of college football, Tommy, not just within Arkansas secondary, but any school. You go there, there's 20, 30 some odd new faces, plus high school kids.
We were talking about we were doing the best running backs in the SEC in our Pradco Pyramid of Power earlier. And, you know, you look down the list, Rocket Sanders, transfer. Let's see, Trevor Etienne, transfer from Florida to Georgia.
Diggs, transfer from
Jackson
LSU.
from Arkansas, transfer from Texas, Utah, and now Arkansas. I mean, that's just the nature when you're talking about a lot of positions. We talk about the lack of quarterback battles in the SEC in the camps. There's not, that's always an interesting element. Not really a lot of those to look at. Those jobs have been sewn up. Why is that? Transfer portal. So guys are recruited to be the starter. And, so yeah, it's a, to say it's an ever-changing roster and ever-changing landscape is probably understating it.
Putting it lightly. Well, the landscape at Rath Auto Resources is changing, specifically on the lot, not necessarily within the staff. There's guys that have worked with Larry Rath for 20-plus years, but you guys are trying to flip the lot right now, Larry. Now, has AJ gotten out of the trunk? Have you pulled him out of the trunk just yet, man?
That's DC.
DC,
yeah,
sorry.
DC, yeah, he said no car salesmen were hurt in the filming of that video.
Okay, good. I know from time to time you guys have fun on social media, and I just wanted to make sure DC wasn't still gasping for air in the trunk of that vehicle.
No, we let him out after the car quit rolling.
Good.
So, yeah.
Well, this month, again, it's August, and you guys are trying to get ready for school at Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith and Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. The way to do that is you flip the lot, you get these cars off of it, man.
That's what we do this time of year. We sell down to the bare asphalt. Tommy always gets a kick out of that. We do it every year. I mean, we sell them all, and then we reload with fresh inventory, which means we need your trade-in right now more than ever. So up to $2,000 extra for trades, up to $6,000 in red tag clearance price savings on this big inventory of road-ready certified used cars with warranty. And we've got a big selection, cars, trucks, SUVs, all the different price ranges, all the different makes and models. Just come in and drive them all till you find the one that's just right for you. Let one of our friendly non-commissioned solution specialists help you make that price and payment fit your budget. That's what we do for folks. We love a chance to earn your business, too. If you're looking for a new car, the new Mitsubishi lineup, Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale, we're real excited about that. 24 Outlanders, new incentives just announced yesterday, so they're trying to flip a lot, too, get rid of all these 24s over the next couple of months, and we've got a good selection. If you haven't seen the Outlander, check that vehicle out. Come on in, take a test drive. You're going to be impressed with the 24 Mitsubishi Outlander. We've also got the Eclipse Cross, the Outlander Sports, the Mitsubishi Mirage, the least expensive new car in America, and all these vehicles with a 5-year, 60,000-mile warranty, 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. So really a great vehicle. It's a value brand. You save a lot of money buying that Mitsubishi vehicle with all that extra warranty on there. Discount prices, rates as low as 0%, big rebates, great time to buy a new Mitsubishi or anything on our pre-owned lot as we flip the lot. Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith, Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. Check us out online, rathauto.com.
Larry, enjoy that lot, and hopefully that asphalt gets quite plentiful with all the cars you guys are moving this next month.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ty. It's going to happen. Folks, come help us flip the lot. Rath Auto Resources, the Meineke Car Care Center.
All right, good stuff from our friend Larry, as always. So Tom made an excellent point earlier when talking about 2022 to 2023 with Arkansas's pass defense. And you got Travis Williams, Marcus Woodson, and Darren Wilson coming over. They were outside the top 100, and then by the end of the season, they were inside the top 35. Scoring defense wasn't what they wanted to be because of certain outbursts against Missouri and Auburn. But passing defense, top 35 in the year. Pretty impressive. You got guys back like Jaheim Singletary, who expects more out of himself this upcoming season as a former 5-star recruit.
Just the learning of the game, just the understanding, just as much time as we put on the field, you got to do the same off the field, just like from film study, just getting in the training room, just a lot.
I thought Tom kind of framed it correctly. I mean, here's a kid that was expected to be, I don't know if all world's the right term, but when you come in with a 5-star ranking, fans expect you to be an absolute stud. And I know for him, that must have been difficult to not necessarily amount to where he wanted to be last year. Maybe this year we'll see more of why he was so highly ranked in high school.
Well, and, again, you're not playing against SEC competition in high school, obviously. Yep. Every player that we talk about this often, every player generally that makes it to this point was the best player on their high school team. That's not always the case, but that's generally the case. And I think it's mentally learning to take it to another level, because I think that's the hard part is you get these rankings, you've been told you're good, now you get here and you got to start at the bottom of the ladder and work back up a lot of times.
Yep, and his coach kind of added that same line of thinking.
That's the relationship standpoint. We were trying summertime, like, hey, let's build this relationship. Now he understands expectations. He's another guy. These first 5 days, you look at Singletary and you're like, hey, he is who we thought he were coming out of high school, and he's been having a really, really good camp as well.
It's one thing to try and cover a kid that's playing Georgia high school football. It's another thing to guard Brian Thomas, Malik Neighbors, and some of the other studs that play wide receiver in this league.
Generally in August, a coach isn't going to step up and say, we missed on this guy in recruiting. He's been a big disappointment so far in camp.
He's been a bust.
I have yet to see that come out of a coach's mouth. Hey, brought to you by Arts Barbecue, Burgers, and more. It's Tuesday. That means 2 of their perfectly cooked barbecue pork chops served with your choice of 2 of their great sides for just $9.99. $10 lunches are hard to find, but one this good, impossible to find except for Arts Barbecue. I'd get some of that okra, some of their house-cut fries or homemade onion rings, or that mac and cheese and 2 big old pork chops. Just $9.99. Arts Barbecue, Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
You guys keep rocking. I love the show.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Work now, pay later. With sizzling savings at WT Equipment. No money down, no interest, and no payments until 2025 on select New Holland equipment. Choose 0 for 60 or up to 10,000 cash back, plus free net wrap on roll belt round balers. 0 for 72 or up to 10,000 cash back on mid-range tractors. Or 0 for 72 plus an additional 2,000 cash back on a new compact. Work smarter with no money down, no interest, and no payments on your choice of the summer's hottest deals. At WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This is The Morning Rush.
Touchdown, Razorbacks!
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. It's August, it's hot, and it's time to flip the lot. So we're giving you the best we've got. Save up to $6,000 on red tag clearance prices on a fantastic selection of road-ready certified used cars with warranty. Plus up to $2,000 extra for your trade and no payments for 90 days. They've all got to go, right down to the bare asphalt. Get a great deal on a great car now and help us flip the lot. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Do you need an attorney that you can actually speak with? You need Hickey & Hull Law Partners. The attorneys at Hickey & Hull understand the importance of client communication and are taking the time to meet you, respond to emails, and return calls. Every case is important, and they strive to give each one the time and attention it deserves. Call today, 479-434-2414, or visit them online at kevinhickeylaw.com. Hickey & Hull Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages, or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time, every time.
Are you ready to work for one of the area's premier companies? If so, Forsgren wants to offer you a rewarding new career. Forsgren has been building the foundation of the River Valley for over 80 years. Forsgren is recruiting for experienced concrete finishers, equipment operators, truck drivers, and laborers. Forsgren is a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forsgren legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at GoForsgren.com. That's GoForsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Hey, this is Dr. Charlie Liggett with River Valley Smile Center. We dial 782-8940.
Coach Todd Holland, head baseball coach of the University of Arkansas Fort Smith Lions. I call 782-8940.
Stay cool this summer with a York high-efficiency HVAC unit. Or for more information on endless hot water and high-efficiency tankless water heaters, give us a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Dial Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Except we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
All right, so you got several SEC teams within the Coaches Poll Top 25. Georgia finds itself at number 1, Texas at number 4, Alabama at 5, Ole Miss at 6, Missouri at 11, LSU at 13, Tennessee at 15, and then the Texas A&M Aggies fall in line at 20. Plus, you got to play Oklahoma State, who is at number 18 in the Coaches Poll already this season. I've asked Tom, I've asked Dan Murphy. When you saw this, did you see anything that?
Well, clearly the Coaches Poll hates Arkansas. You know.
There it is. There it is.
Did we receive votes?
I don't know. I don't.
If you extend the poll, are we 33rd?
I think you're like.
I'll ask Ruskin that question later.
83rd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
no, I don't think Arkansas found itself on.
Is this news? How many did you say? 7 in the SEC? Or 7 on Arkansas' schedule?
Yeah,
How many
7.
in the SEC?
I think 6 is what it was. Oh, it's 7 because you don't play. Well, it's. Sorry, 8 because you don't play Georgia and Alabama.
Is this news? That there's 8 SEC teams in the...
Nearly a third.
I mean, I don't think that's news. I mean, that's what we call August every year. You like to use the word perennial. This is truly a perennial story here. We, every August in these initial polls, talk about how many SEC teams are in them. This is truly a perennial story.
I was a little surprised that Texas A&M was as high as they were. I know. I don't know.
I just think a lot of this, and again, it seems like the theme today, or at least my theme, has been transfer portal and the ever-changing. I think we put too much into last year. We put too much into brand name. Again, this is a coaches poll. I don't know how much the coaches actually are formulating their top 25 ballot. Particularly this time, you think that coaches were a little busy the last few weeks? Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, I understand why we have preseason polls. I'm not saying we don't need them. They create things for us to talk about, but they're worthless. They are worthless.
Gives us something to talk about.
That's it. And it gives TV a number to put by a name when they're promoting a broadcast that's coming up, but we don't know anything yet.
Yeah, the transfer portal has made it that much more difficult to determine.
And that's the point. Portal's kind of been the theme throughout the show, and I think we're less knowledgeable about how teams are really going to play now than we've ever been because of all the movement.
I would agree with that. I think that's fair. A fair thought on your part.
So these polls mean even less to me now than they did
ever before.
Which
they were already
wasn't much.
Low on the totem pole. Are you familiar with the College Football Network?
The College Football Network?
Yeah. I'm not. Apparently, there was some rankings that were and accolades given out to Anton.
Oh, I thought you meant like a TV network.
No.
Okay. I've seen that name before. You're talking about
it's a publication of some sort.
Right.
Anton Dukaj got named a potential transfer of the year and preseason of the year, player of the year, and Braxton and Centennial made second team. Landon Jackson made third team. They basically.
So if they're not credible in your mind, why did you bring it up?
I don't know. I just I was asking if you heard it because Arkansas published it yesterday because it gives credit to some of their guys. But I was curious if you had heard of College Football Network.
When you said College Football Network, I was thinking like it's on my Dish Network guide or my. Yeah, I've never seen that on TV. I automatically thought of TV there.
I think Russ Mitchell might have used to work there, or maybe still works there, but that's the one that I think of. Apparently, I saw this Jalen Hurts commercial. Did you see the flag football thing that's coming in 2028 to Los Angeles?
I've heard about this.
I'm excited. You get
for the Olympics, going to have flag football.
Yeah, I think I'm more excited about that than I am Tom Cruise reportedly rappelling down whatever that statue thingamajig is in France or wherever he's doing.
I guess we couldn't actually have real American football in the Olympics because we're the only country that plays. The closest we're going to get is rugby, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Flag football, I'm curious who competes, like who plays in it.
Is pickleball in the Olympics? I don't think it is. Or if it is, I haven't seen it yet.
It needs to get
If not, it should be in the 26 Olympic Games.
I've seen
pickleball.
They have different events in Kansas City and St. Louis and Dallas and metropolitan areas that are not too far from Arkansas that I've heard people go into, and they're quite entertaining.
Right. I'm just saying it's become I don't know how international that game is, but it's become a truly American sport in the last 5 years. So pickleball, 26 games.
I've added to the list.
Get DQ on the team.
Added to the list. I haven't heard her talk about pickleball in a while. Hopefully. She can't participate, at least for the time being, with the broken foot. But when she does recover, hopefully she will be back to her pickleballing ways.
Well, I was there, but we were in the midst of crisis yesterday trying to fix this technical issue. She wasn't on crutches that I noticed, or a boot, but maybe I was just busy, focused on other things. But get better, DQ.
I'm not going to say that.
I'll see her in a little bit. I'm headed that way.
I'm not going to say that Rusk and Zach blamed the issue on you, but they did cite that the one lone difference from their usual live shows was you being in attendance too, relative to their normal live shows that have gone.
Well, if they didn't require supervision, I wouldn't have to be there.
You know what? That's true. They said that. And they were pointing at me. Well, you've been to live shows before, nothing's gone wrong, but this goes wrong.
I've been to many of their live shows.
Interesting coincidence.
Sometimes they don't know I'm there, but
they're just in the
background.
You got
to keep an eye on them.
All right, that is your SEC update this morning here on Bandwagon Tuesday.
Brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Our buddies Chris and Lee J always give you the best brands, the best prices. Grand Design, Forest River, Brinkley's, which they're bringing to Fort Smith in 25. So you'll be able to see the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels, either side of the tunnel. They've got award-winning service and parts department to always take care of you, and I love the lifetime warranty that comes with every new RV they sell. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72, off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with Wheels RV.
Chuck made us aware that Snoop Dogg's barely getting paid $500,000 plus expenses in Paris right now as he watches many an Olympic Games. And I didn't have Martha Stewart and Snoop next to each other at any point during. I didn't put that pair together, but it was entertaining nevertheless.
Hey, okay, we got an LBC horse in the house, right? Get cracked.
Look at that. Look at that.
Just from the front.
You got some new movement for your
horse. Drama N-I-D. It's kind of hard being the H-O-R-S-E, but oh, that's that sidewalk right there, Martha.
So he's describing a horse that's prancing, dancing, whatever, strutting, whatever. I don't know the proper term because I'm not a. What is it? What is the word that begins with an E, Tommy? That is a equestrian. Is that I'm not an equestrian that knows the ins and outs of some of the warm-ups and exercises, but it was a very entertaining, and that part of the Olympics has been fun to see. Wallace, we got a text earlier yesterday that Wallace Spearman was next to Snoop at one point, but he's been a A bigger part of the Olympics is any of the competitors, including Simone Biles, who's just dominating right now.
How old is Snoop Dogg?
That's a great question.
I've got the answer here. I'm asking because I now know after Googling.
Okay. I'm going to guess that he is 68.
68?
Is that young or low?
You're way over. Way over. Snoop Dogg is 52. Born in October of 71.
I was way off.
And
he's only 52? Wow.
I like the fact that you're now saying only 52. Yeah. Because 52 is getting pretty close for me. Do you know Snoop Dogg's real name?
I know Eminem's real name.
Yeah.
I don't know Snoop's real name.
Calvin Cordozer Brodus Jr.
Calva Cordozer.
Known professionally as Snoop Dogg.
That is.
Previously Snoop Doggy Dogg.
That is quite a mouthful.
And briefly a Snoop Lion. I don't remember that.
Snoop Lion. No, that timeline does not ring a bell when it comes to his nicknames back in the day. It was not as again. I shared yesterday. I watched Old School this weekend, and he's in that movie with Vince Vaughn, Luke Wilson, and Frank the Tank, Mr. Will Ferrell. But I'm trying to think what I've seen plenty of other movies that he's been in too, but I did not. I guess I overjumped. I overestimated how old he was. I apologize.
Born in 71.
Say his name one more time.
His real name?
Yes, his real name.
Calvin Cordozer Brodus Jr.
Calva.
Known as Snoop Dogg.
Calvin or Calver?
Calvin.
Calvin Cordoza
Calvin Coolidge,
Brodus Studer.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Calvin Cordoza Brodus Jr.
Yeah. I'll let you say it. Well, I apologize, Mr. Snoop, for overestimating what I thought your age was in this case. We're getting, I guess, closer to how long does the Olympics go on? For another
in closing ceremony. Let me look. I think closing ceremonies might be this weekend. So
it's getting close, and we'll get to see
3.5 week deal. So
Trey Biddy's listening this morning. He's like 68. You guys 68? Yeah, a little high, Trey. I'm not good with ages, or I don't know if that's a skill set you have, Tommy. But
August 11th, Sunday, August 11th is the final day of the Olympics.
This I'm going to say something. I might be wading into some dangerous waters, but I'm going to do it nevertheless. Like when you think a young lady's cute and you're thinking she's post-college age and you find out that she's a senior in high school, like you overestimate sometimes. And you can't tell nowadays with men or women. You just can't do it. So I guess
I know the difference in a 20-something-year-old and a 50-something-year-old.
Yes.
I know a difference between a 52-year-old and a, what'd you say, 68? I know the difference there.
Apparently I did not. So I apologize for the umpteenth time.
Does Snoop look good or bad for 52?
Bad. I don't apologize for
all that medicinal intake hasn't preserved him well?
No.
But Willie Nelson lived to be, or still with us at 90, right?
I was going to say, did you just kill Willie?
I didn't mean to. I know they just had his 90th. So
that was a bad part of the guessing and the estimating. Maybe we'd guess ages. Maybe we bring up some famous people in the next few weeks and said, hey, tell me how old do you think this guy or gal is? And we give it a crack. Or
Willie Nelson's actually 91 years old.
Golly. 91 years old.
Yeah.
91 years old.
Who smoked more, Willie or Snoop?
Willie, just because he's older.
I don't know. I think Snoop's higher volume.
No pun intended.
Have nothing to base that on.
No pun intended. No pun intended.
Oh, Snoop Dogg and Willie. They'd be a good album together, right? Hey, brought to you by Oaklawn Sports. Football season's just a couple of weeks away. You can download the Oaklawn Sports app at the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store to get in on all the action, futures, outright winners, spreads, totals, player props. It's all there for you. And you get a second chance bet on your first bet if it doesn't work out. Make your deposit, make at least a $10 bet up to $250. And if it doesn't go your way, they'll give you a bonus bet of equal value. Debit cards and credit cards, PayPal, Apple Pay, Venmo, ACH, on-site cash, it all works with the Oaklawn Sports app. So bet with the brand you trust. Bet with the name you know anywhere in Arkansas. Bet with Oaklawn Sports.
White Sox are in the midst of a 21-game losing streak, and that's not the only bad thing happening with their broadcast.
It's time now for our injury report presented by Well Now Urgent Care and the all-star closer for the...
Do you hear that, Tommy? Mm-hmm. Well Now Urgent Care.
Yep.
Oh, things are going awry in the White Sox season.
And we don't need to be throwing stones in glass houses around here.
Yeah, with the Arkansas Razorback seasons.
Or the ability to get a line right.
Oh, that's true. Especially for my sense. All right, that's going to do it for us here on a Bandwagon Tuesday. Back tomorrow.